Hello, everybody, and welcome back to second half. Second half. It's like football, only we've only just switched streams. That's all. To RaceDepartment.com's Le Mans series, brought to you by Vesaro, and we're here for the 6 hours of Silverstone, brought to you by Thrustmaster. And don't forget, we have some wonderful shifters for you to win. Just make sure you follow us on Twitch to be in with a chance for winning. And we are at the 3-hour mark, in fact just past, and it's been an absolute corker of a race. My name's Simon Smith. I've been dragging you kicking and screaming for the last few hours, and I've had plenty of chums alongside me. Davey van der Ven has been with us. We also have Joseph Wright, who has switched all kinds of roles and is now playing cameraman, and the wonderful Dan Marr alongside me. How are you going, Dan?
I'm alright, thank you, Simon. I've just gone to grab a cup of tea, so I'm all prepared for the next 3 hours of the race.
That's so British. Have you got hobnobs?
I just had some chocolate digestive.
Even better. I tip my porcupine hat to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm going in your favour, am I?
Well, I don't know if that's safe for you, to be fair, Mr. Marr, but you can certainly be in my favour if you wish.
Now, we're talking about motor racing, boys.
But, well, we've already had someone mount someone else on screen, so I think we're okay, to be fair. So let's have a quick rundown of what's been going on. Dan, you've been trucking alongside me for the duration as well. How's it been for you? What's been your high points and your low points?
Well, my high points was when I saw a Porsche was on its side. And that's not serious, by the way. That was just quite high. But it's been a fantastic race. We've had a great battle for the lead. The scrap between the battle for P2 and P2 in P2, which is the Drillers Motorsport car and a Simtech Motorsport car. They've been fantastic to watch. You know, you've got just the feeder Ragnar simulator team, just that astronomical stint early on by Cuba to start going on. And then it's just been some great racing, some great action throughout the entirety of the field. I don't really know what to say. I've thoroughly enjoyed the race so far, and we've still got plenty more to come here.
It is the gift that keeps giving is endurance racing, and we certainly are at the moment. It's been a fabulous time, and so much more on-track action compared to Interlagos as well, in terms of proper battles and like groups of cars getting together. I remember we were saying this in qualifying, that everyone had kind of qualified in little segments of groups, but those groups have stuck together throughout the race as well.
Yes, it has. The way that the teams are balanced and the way that the cars are sort of very equal means it's just easier. It's better for the racing, I think, and it's been fantastic to see that these battles have carried on throughout the entirety of the race so far.
So, wherever you're joining us from, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us. If you're over on Twitch, make sure you hit follow so that you're within a chance to win one of our shifters that we've got available as a prize that will be picked after the race has completed, after the broadcast. Keep up to date with racedepartment.com for that. If you're doing any kind of Twittering, make sure you use the hashtag RDLMS. Shane Burke has just recently put up an amazing tweet that talks about when you see what feeder's pace is, and it's got SpongeBob going up on the screen. So loving that. And I know we're over on YouTube as well. A big hug to you out there. It's a pleasure to have you with us wherever you are. And of course, if you're watching this on delay, sort yourself out, because you can come and join in live next time and get involved in the bants. We'd love to have you with us.
Technical term, that bants.
That's me trying to be street, even though I'm mid-30s.
You're trying to be down with the kids.
Yeah, in a non-arrestable way, obviously, but
well, of course.
It does worry me.
Are you going to be arrested?
Well, yeah.
You brought yourself into this, I'm afraid, Simon.
This is true. I could. Well,
I'll tell you what. Shall we stop digging yourself a hole, and shall we talk about the motor race of which we're meant to be commentating over?
Yes, I feel like this is the best segue possible.
That is just the best idea any of us can have.
Quite possibly. So we've got some new people up in fact, we've got some disconnections. So and a retirement, obviously, as well. Our first retirement, Luca Barbetto, sadly, engine failure, out
Oh dear, that's a massive
So
shame.
that is huge for them. We were just talking to Team Panda, weren't we? Panda Racing.
Yes,
So
you've cursed them, haven't you?
we have. We wished them well. They go and be our first retirement of the race. Commentators curse. Never mind. Show in Vandersloot, another problem as well with disconnections. We know that those team are trying to sort all of that out. So hopefully that will it will improve for them. But it doesn't look like it's got anything going on elsewhere. Other people that we've got new onto the grid. Kreshnik Halali in KMT Racing down in 39th and last. They're 22 laps off the pace, but they're now just 2 behind John Nelson up ahead. And that was 8 laps. So KRT Racing, not KMT. So they're closing them down. So that will be a little battle later on. Also, welcome to the race in 31st position, Patrice Sayatat. I butchered your name, but never mind. Petter Van Buzka in 26th place. Welcome to the race for you, sir, as well. And Alexis Clapano in 21st is also another new name I've not spotted yet, which is great in the 119 car. And Douglas Simonelli has also taken over in 13th position. He's an ex-driver of mine from previous yesteryears when I used to run open-wheeled teams for Backmarker Brigade over in Race Department before everyone realised that pink, purple and yellow liveries probably caused more damage than good. Oh, he's going to cause himself more damage in the... Oh! Boink.
What's happened?
Douglas Simonelli, 2 cars in 1 hit, now stuck. He's trying to get out of Chapel. He'll get there eventually.
John Nelson, yep, he's moving now. John Nelson was the unfortunate GT car involved with that. He went wide, going through Maggers and Beckett's, probably too much apex speed. Yeah, just managed to get the car, couldn't quite get the tire turned in, runs out wide. Simonelli now onto the grass, and then wham bam, straight on, 1, 2, 3. One manages to get going, but John Nelson gone for a ride there, I'm afraid, and it's poor old John Nelson in the 1, 2, 3. He does carry on though, so lives to fight another day. Just wishes he wasn't being fought with, in all honesty.
Indeed. Well, that does show the grit and determination and the kind of spirit that us sim racers have. That even when it's all going a little bit Pete Tong, you're still soldiering on and enjoying yourself. Luca Babetto has just rejoined the race, actually. It shows his DNF as an engine failure, but I don't know if he was able to disconnect and escape out and it just attributed an engine failure. Because in my head, if it is a pure engine failure, he can't actually rejoin the race. So we'll see what happens with them and if that team rejoins back onto the track, currently showing P34.
Well, it'll be fascinating to see if he does go back out. It'll be great to see if he does go back out, but we shall see how it happens, I suppose, won't we?
I'd love a 100% finish rate.
That would be great.
So, do pop into the chat if you've got something that you want. Patrick popping in the chat there. Stop digging, lol. I'm not digging anything, mate. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, if you've got anything that you'd like to shout out onto the broadcast or let us know who you're cheering for and so on and so forth, please do pop into the Twitch chat and we'll read out your messages as we go. Everyone seems Jamie Otis very excited about the prizes, so I think we've got someone who's definitely taking part in that.
That's good. It's good that we've got someone who wants to take part. I think, in fact, just remind us for the wonderful ladies and gentlemen who are watching out there, what is it that the prizes are for this race?
So for this race, it is a wonderful shifter brought to us from the wonderful people at Thrustmaster. It's the TH8A shifter. People really want to know exactly what it is. Someone's popped in the chat room. Does it have a H thingy bob that goes with it? I honestly don't know.
An H thingy bob?
You know what I mean.
I don't. It comes with an H pattern shifter, so 7 plus 1, and then you've also got your straight cut. You can change it to a straight cut sequential shifter. So it's the best of both worlds.
See? He knew what I meant.
I bought one.
And how have you found it? I'm assuming you like it.
It is. It's a very nice piece of kit, and it's going to serve me quite well for years to come on my sim rig, definitely.
Fab, fab. Quite a few people are actually saying that they'd quite like a shifter, so I suggest you enter, people.
And all you need to do is to follow us on Twitch.
Simples.
Simples. Anyway, someone in the green room, we have Tom Watts waiting to head on in. So let's bring him in, and I'll let you, Simon, to... Simon, you do the honours. Tom Watts joins us in the commentary box.
Good
Hey,
afternoon,
Tom.
gents. Good afternoon.
How you doing?
Yeah, all right.
That sounded like you needed to think.
Yeah, no, it's qualified well. Qualified P3. Quite happy with that. Actually, it was quicker than what I thought I was going to be able to get out of the car. It was great. Got pipped off the line when we started. That was my fault. And running fourth for quite a long time, really. Keeping up with the leaders, though. Few issues. I had a few technical glitches on my computer. It's part of the reason why I got a headed drive-through penalty. And punted off the car off, and that's when I punted that car off. My computer just almost completely froze. So I was guessing where I was. So that's not great. And then Dan's had a couple of issues. Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad, I guess. So, Dan Long is currently in your car at the moment, down in position 12, it looks like, yeah?
Yeah, no, he had computer issue and
So
froze, unfortunately.
So for MK, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, MK Sport, yeah. MK Sim Sport. So yeah, it's not exactly the position where we wanted to be. We've still got one driver left to run this afternoon in there. So hopefully we can gain back some positions. But there's a couple of issues, and I won't go into them on here. I'll save those for after the race and more look into it. But we could have been on for a podium, so it's a bit disappointing at the moment. But hopefully we'll be back out at Le Mans next time and fighting for the victory.
So what kind of is your aim of your goal now? Because you're a little bit in no man's land, because you've got you're 5 laps down, you've got a couple of people that are 4, and then it's a big gap to the few people in 3 laps down. You're closing them in, but it's a bit of an awkward one. So is it just bring it home and hope for failure elsewhere?
Push.
Push.
And yeah, a little bit of bad luck on somebody else's part wouldn't harm us at all, to be honest. It's
Not
just...
that you want to wish badly for those
oh,
people,
absolutely,
but
no, I wouldn't do
but
it.
where.
But yeah, in a sense, yes, please.
I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean. It's I wouldn't do it on anybody, but hopefully we can get some points out of it, and that'll be the main thing. Again, we had a lot of problems at Interlagos as well. We had a strong car both. It was just me and Matt running the car that time. And we had some issues, so hopefully we won't have any issues for Le Mans next time, and we're in the challenge.
So do you think of this championship as a championship? Because we've been speaking to a lot of people, and everyone seems to be seeing this as like individual races where you go for the victory and you're not necessarily thinking about other places and other things. How do you take it? Do you just look at it race by race and kind of or do you look at the long haul in general?
I think at this point we've got to look at the long haul in general. Obviously, race by race, you aim for the win and you see where you can get from there. But yeah, no, I look at it as a championship, definitely. To be honest.
Fab.
Obviously, Le Mans is the high point, so let's try and do a bit better there. But it's a shame for us, obviously. It's most of our drivers' local tracks. I mean, they only live 15 minutes away from Silverstone, so it's a bit gutting not to be on the podium, probably.
Yeah, man. But I suppose they can then hop over the fence and get on for reals later, so they'll be all right. They'll be all right. Bonus question, because we've been asking everyone as they've come in. What's the oldest piece of sim racing equipment that you own? Or your first, if you don't know what you've got.
First? Yeah, no, it was the old... I don't know what I'd call it sim racing, but essentially it was. It was the old Xbox 360 wireless steering wheel. Back in the day, I think I got it literally when it had first come out. I used to love that piece of kit.
Do you know what? I never I've never owned one, but I did used to play with them, and they were quite flicky.
They were. I love the rim. I thought the rim was great. It looked like the old Audi RS4 rim. But yeah, no. Compared to like what we run now and stuff, it's dreadful.
Not to worry, not to worry. And anything you want to shout out onto the broadcast?
No,
you
thank
drop
you
off?
very much to the rest of the MK Sim 14. They've been doing a cracking job. We've put in a lot of time over the last few weeks, homing setups for not just this, but also the RD GP series as well. So, been good.
Fabulous.
No,
Thank
cheers,
you very
lads.
much.
Good luck to everybody else for the rest of the race. Hope you have better fortune than us at the moment.
Oh, no, thank you very much. That's MK Racing, currently showing in 12th place, and that was the rather fabulous Tom Watts. And yeah, let's keep on moving on up. So yeah, cheers.
Thank you very much, Tim.
So whilst we were chatting away, did I miss anything on the track there, Dan?
I don't believe you've missed anything, no. So you've luckily not missed anything particularly urgent. So everything's starting to settle down just a little bit now out on circuit. That's not to say nothing's happening. That's just to say that, as Robin Bonden nearly makes contact with the Corvette of Matthias Machado behind him coming into Brooklands, but that was just saying that there's not the busiest time out on track at the moment, but you know, everyone's just getting into the rhythm. And I say that Damon Patel, oh dear, has had a spin on the exit of the final corner. Let's have a replay, see what happens. And I'm expecting to see a redshift car. Yep, bam. Basically, if I can pause this sufficiently, there you go. So, 14th place he was at the time. So, he was trying to come through the final corner, grabs a little bit of the curb, and of course unsettled the car, and nose cone first into the barriers, spins around a few times, maybe done a bit of damage to his car, but I think he's carried on. So luckily he's not sustained anything big, but luckily managed to keep on going basically.
Shots for staff areas continues on.
Yeah, I realised I'm not going to be invited back, am I?
You're fine.
If we don't if we ignore what happens with Damon, I think we might be able to commentate again. But yeah, so apart from the fact that the staff admins are all fantastic racing drivers, there's not much going on at the moment.
Oh dear,
To be fair, I've known Damon for quite a long time now. Yeah, because fun fact for you here, you know how he said you used to run your own team over at Race Department? Well, I had my own. In fact, it was the very first I won. There was a competition for R Factor 2 to win a copy of R Factor 2 by guessing a lap time at the Malaysia circuit, because R Factor 2 had only recently, actually come out. And that's how come I have R Factor 2, because I won my copy through Race Department. Because
wow!
I guessed the lap time by about 2,000 or something like that.
Nice.
So that's how I came to have a copy of R Factor 2. But yeah, but back then when it was the last season of R Factor 1 and the first season of R Factor 2 for the Race Department Le Mans series, Mar Motorsport was the thing. We had a Porsche and then a Nissan.
Nice, nice, and that's also proof that prizes do exist and people can win. So make sure you enter.
Yeah, exactly. You do win things, so please do enter. And sometimes it's always better to enter something if it's as simple as following something. Just enter it and see what happens, because you never quite know. As well, which is always interesting. But anyway, into the pit lane we have Sergio Mangal, and out of the pit lane we have Mr. Horst, who's just left. So the man who was on his side briefly, that car, he's now back into the race.
So do you miss doing team running particularly?
Well, this was many years ago, you see. So I sort of didn't do a lot of online stuff for a long while, but obviously now I'm back. I'm just doing the comment. I do bits of commentary. It'd be good to have my own team, but it's like you look at all the liveries we've got now, and it's like I couldn't do anything like this. So, not that that should be a deterrent to anyone, because it's not a simple thing to do. But in stuff like this, it's always a great place to gain some experience in doing it if it's something you want to do. Because obviously we see with stuff like the race department Le Mans race as Jeffrey Fournier nearly gets into the back of Wilson in the number 15 car. But yeah, it's always a great thing to do. I always think anyway. So if you've got the time and the inclination to do it, I'd always suggest doing it because it's always good.
I always find as well with a lot of team bosses, and I fall into this category, are slightly frustrated race drivers where we know we're not quick enough.
Yeah, well, we can't do it, so we get other people to do it for us, kind of
exactly, and then like to shout.
Yeah.
And I quite like to play, and it would make sense around like this type of track as well, is to play team manager / spotter, where you're essentially going GT coming up 3, 2, 1, blah blah blah, go to the left, go to the right, and so on and so forth. And so you end up being like the calming voice behind it all to try and like mentally manage your driving.
The very stressed, calming voice behind it all. Yeah.
Yeah, passive aggressive chewing of nails on mute, and then coming on and going everything's fine, and then going back on mute again and going. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good decision. That was a good idea. You went that side, and then goes. It wasn't a very good idea. But we have been joined by several people. Ale Mervold. We have been joined by. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm tired, but good.
That's not good that you're tired, but at least you're good.
Yeah.
So we were just having a discussion actually. We were discussing about team bosses who seem very calm, but actually very stressed people.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you'd add to the conversation, but
Roy isn't really a stressed person, but he tends to get a bit angry if things doesn't go his way. He seems very calm.
but
yeah.
isn't.
No, not always.
Is he the kind of person who you'd probably find on Most Wanted and go no?
Probably, yeah. You know, he doesn't have any social media or anything, so yeah.
Maybe there's a reason.
Yeah, it's
clearly.
typical...
I think we've just had another engine failure from Antonio Vincents in what is now 15th position. It's showing it may have been a disconnection, but he's just literally left the session now, and it's come up with engine. And we saw this with Luca, with Panda Racing. They couldn't rejoin. So I wonder if that's retirement number 2 to the list.
Oh, that's a massive shame. Because they were running really well, weren't they?
Yeah, and that's Team Jim, who I've purposely not mentioned their team name because I'm not supposed to, I just want to keep on saying it's the team of Jims and not the JIM team. So next race, please do let us know what you'd like to be called, because I've purposely not called you anything. And Frenchy Foxes have just gone through up into 16th. So we'll see if they rejoin back in again. But if not, I think that'll be the end of that day, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a massive shame.
Yeah, it looks like it happened during a pit stop, so it might be the engine overheated.
That's a good shout, actually. That is a good shout. Showing Vandersloot has again not rejoined back in again either, so that team has now dropped to 38th. He could still get back in and rejoin up that team if he wants to, but it looks as though they may have just called it a day with all of the problems that they've had trying to get back in again.
Yeah, again, that is a big shame, isn't it? Because it's always good to see guys who are, you know, having a few problems but still go out there and run to the end, you know, determined to get the thing to the finish. As you say, when people are you're dragging us kicking and screaming through the race, but in all seriousness, some of these people really do drag these cars to the end.
Ollie, do you practice pit stop changes and driver swaps and all of that kind of stuff quite routinely with your team?
No, we did before the first race, and not before this.
And do you sit there and try and work out like what strategically is the most, the least risky driver swaps that you can do and stuff like that?
No, we usually just test to see if it works. If it works, we are happy, and then we don't test it again until anyone has any issues. Then we start testing it. So yeah, but it seems to work out when we're not had any big problems in many
Nice.
years actually. I think it was season 4 last time we had a driver swap issue. So yeah, as long as it works, we won't fiddle with it.
Fair enough then. I suppose if you don't, you can always overwork something sometimes, can't you? By trying to, there's always good to be as prepared as you can, but sometimes you practice it to death, and you might sometimes get it wrong because you've been, you're just that angry you've got to redo it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and you think you found a little smart thing to do to save some time or do things faster, and when it comes to a race, it doesn't work at all. So.
This reminds me of my theory that I am driving so slowly because I know how to drive fast and I'm purposely avoiding it.
Okay, I'll believe you.
Yeah,
Millions wouldn't.
I won't.
But-
Fair enough then.
I'm
So
just
I've been
looking at
noticing in
my.
the-
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go for it, Ollie.
I'm looking at my team, and I see that Jonathan is driving quite fast now. Seems like he's among the top 5 on lap times in the GT class.
Well, he's got a bumper on again, so that
Yeah.
must be helpful.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I'd just like to suggest as well, there's a fantastic battle in GT for 25th between Matheus Machado and Sergio Menguel.
Oh, by the way,
Not-
there is just a little update on Mateus. There's a slight chance you might see chaos on the track really soon.
Okay, so let's keep an eye on this battle then, shall we? Because Lorenzo definitely would nudge, wink, wink. Does not know what's going on. And also there's a spin, and that's Varga who's just stuck on the exit of the Magazine Beckett's complex. I saw yellow coming up, and I thought, what's going on here? So on board with Mangual as I'm having him on my replay, Machado sees it, goes left, just sort of cuts the corner, basically because there was nowhere else he could go.
I'll be right back.
I hope that doesn't trigger a drive-through.
Well,
That is what I'm going to ask.
mitigating circumstances, one would suggest.
That was lucky though. That is surely that's got to be a driver's worst nightmare when you're coming and there's a car stopped on the apex and you're thinking,
No!
Yeah,
We
that
know it.
leaves a mark in quite a few places, I think.
But luckily, it's not cost them any time.
these two are only about 15 seconds ahead of Peter Vermazuka as well. Not necessarily gaining on them, particularly in lap time, but the sooner that these two start getting back into their battle again, the slower they'll potentially get, which will help her to kind of suck back onto the back of these two again. So this could well end up being a little battle royale of a trio if they don't sort themselves out quite quickly, or at least work together.
It's going to be a fantastic thing to see, isn't it? And it's great to see the competitiveness of these guys. Peter Munkholm now in the 120 car is in the pit lane as well. So
Yeah, will he join the track about around Machado and Mengual?
it could be quite close actually, because Edson Arcala in the MK Sim Sport BMW is just about to come past him. In fact, they go over the line now.
Munkholm is going to be overtaken by Arcella, but not by Machado.
No.
Machado or Mingua.
Machado is coming through Stowe now. car is currently sat in second gear. Been sat for a little while. And as Machado comes over the last corner, now he's not going to do it. He's still sat in pit lane. And there we go. Edge of restarts. The Porsche gets back underway.
Alright,
the driver
let's
let me
say
swap.
Ogard.
explain. Lasse Ugar, yeah.
Is now in the car, so a driver change for them. He's going to have a bit of work to do. Crosses the line now, back onto the race circuit, but critically, he's about 2 corners behind Mangual, is just leaving farm, whereas Ogard is just coming into it.
Maciej Milnik is in the pits right now.
Let's have a look then. Yeah, so Juan Rodriguez is in the pit lane now as well. So we've got 2 cars in pit lane. And obviously the Milnik, as you say, the race leader, currently getting his car serviced. And I suppose as a driver, this has got to be quite the longest minute you'll have of the race when you sit, or minute and whenever, just waiting for the car to be released.
Do you guys have anything where when you're in the pits for this amount of time? Do you have any kind of rituals or things that you do to try and, like, I don't know, reshuffle your bum so you're comfy again for the next stint? Take a swig of water, that kind of thing.
I have one, but I'm not gonna say over here because it's above 18.
Yeah, I have a bottle of water. Let's take some.
Is yours a plus, Lorenzo, does yours involve a plus 18 beverage, or plus whichever the legal age is in your country beverage?
It involves beverages, but most importantly, it involves I basically I can go the Kimi Räikkönen route and just say it.
You like having an ice cream?
Precisely.
Yeah, during
I
a
think
1 pit stop.
I think
fair
that will
enough.
fool the sensors.
You've got to be mighty quick to demolish an ice cream in 60 seconds.
Dude, don't ever doubt my capabilities of devouring an ice cream. When I
Scoop 'em,
want
mother
to,
flippin' scoop.
my record was 15 seconds.
15?
15.
15
And I
seconds
was
for
bored.
eating an ice cream.
That is a splash and dash.
Indeed.
I just feel sorry for the ice cream.
Oh, it was
Unlived,
tasty,
unwanted.
dude. It was a chocolate one.
Fair enough.
Hopefully not chocolate chip. Otis of the Jamie variety in the chat, only 8 followers away from our follower goal.
Yeah, and
Woo.
just to remind every viewer, if you follow us right now, right here, right now on racedepartment.com, racedepartment.com on our Twitch, actually to be more precise, you get the chance to win a Thrustmaster TPHA shifter, or THPA shifter, or a shifter from Thrustmaster, to be more precise. So you follow, everyone's following has a straightforward chance to win a shifter, and who doesn't want a shifter? I want a shifter.
There was so much silence after that rhetorical question, no one knew what to do. That's how much everyone wants that shifter.
Well, someone will earn that shifter.
So long as they shift it and follow us. Hurry up! Boobums. Okay, I'll stop.
Someone will woke up with a pun today.
Also, in now comes Max Melamed into the pit lane for the number 2 car. Let's see what happens to his car. 3rd place at the moment. I think he'll come out ahead of the 4th place, Jose Berengard. Oh, Berenger, but we shall see. Right, so car being serviced, we'll find out in just a moment, won't we?
But the battle for second and third, the kind of landscape of that whole battle has changed over time because Max Melamed was in front of that and leading it. And during the course of this whole stint as a whole, where it's been those two drivers behind the wheel, the advantage has slipped time over time to Robin Bondon. So it's been a net mini loss for Simtech at the moment. Still plenty of time for it to turn around. It's just interesting to see like the rise and fall over the course of a stint between a couple of drivers.
It's interesting how it changes.
Also, welcome to the race, Franco Scallot in 6th position. He may have been out there for a while, but I've only just noticed. So, hello, Franco.
I just realized that the fight for 19th is going to. Yeah, I think 19th. It's going to be a big fight soon, or not.
Oh, and they
to
share the
discuss.
same name, practically. Alex and Alexis.
Yeah, and Alexis went off, and it seems like there's something wrong with the car.
Oh, and into the barrier as well. So
Yeah. So just as I spotted that, it went haywire.
It's like he went straight. That was weird.
Yeah.
It's like his steering wheel disconnected or something.
Yeah, it could have been because there's a bit of steering, and the engine. The look of the throttle. There's no drive at all.
By the way, welcome Charles Baccio to the race with the first half of the stint. By the way, this was played by my team.
Okay, yep. So Charles Baccio did a fantastic job in the first stint of the race. Drove it magnificently well.
Oh, Alexis has found reverse now, so.
Yeah.
But it's
That
it's
was
almost. Yeah, I think you might have. I didn't know who said the steering wheel disconnect, but that felt like because there was no turning at all, and then at the last minute it just done like a dead left into the barrier, which would be the only thing you didn't want that car to do at that point. So yeah, I wonder if he's just had to kind of do a unplug, replug, and hope for the best. I run my R Factor 2 very vanilla, but I know that there's countless plugins and all kinds of different things that everyone sticks in and enjoys, and sometimes that can cause some conflicts with stuff, almost like our equivalent of mechanical failures that you'd get in real life. So it's hopefully that will be the sole problem that Alexis Clapano will have, because otherwise he'll be not just clapping a barrier, he'll be clouting it.
Yeah, so it was a second faster per lap than the Mayo. So I was looking forward to a real battle, and then.
Well, we may still get one quite quickly though, because he's rejoined not far behind Yuri Kastorp. We had Yuri in earlier, who was giving it some fighty feels. He's doing his second stint out there now.
But looking at the times, Yuri is faster.
So they may all concertina back up for an Alex Yuri Alexis squabble, perhaps. We'll keep an eye.
That might happen. You're a bit more positive than I am.
I live for the battle. Talking of battles and things are not often about, you've been busy going off and enjoying various different motorsporty things of late, haven't you, Ollie?
Yeah, maybe. I'm a bit unsure where we're heading now. Yeah.
I thought you'd been off doing some driving somewhere.
Yeah, I did some rallycross events earlier this year.
How did that all go?
Very bad.
Next topic.
The car didn't work at all, so I think it was a 3-hour race actually, 2-hour rallycross event with 3 drivers, and I got to drive. I think it was 6 or 7 laps in 3 hours.
No.
So, yeah.
Was that something you'd like to come at again whilst James Wilson and Dan Long are in the pits?
Yeah, I would do it. I think it was fun. Actually, no, it would have been more fun if I had been able to drive for an hour. But yeah.
Cool. Well, James Wilson in there from 5th position He's now rejoining the track. No driver swap there. But Franco Scalet is going to just pip him on the exit, I think. He's coming around turn 1. Very slidey. He knows what the pressure is. But he's beaten James Wilson out of the pits. So that puts Franco Scalet up into 5th for Sicania Endurance. And James Wilson slots down to 6th for Atlantic. We've had quite a few people in the chat shouting "Go Go Sicania Endurance Motorsport." So there you go. Your team's on the screen, mates. Enjoy.
Sounds like a Inspector Gadget kind of thing.
What, Sicania?
Yeah, Go Cicadia thing
Good
motorsport.
little.
Uh,
Get you next time, drillers. Feeder.
So we've also got Di Maio coming into the pits.
Yeah, there's 5
Petter
cars in the pits now.
has come back into the pit lane. Bergen has come into the pit lane as well. So it's a bit of a busy pit lane at the moment.
Also, Alex Di Maio in the GT class is in the pits.
Jose Merengue
Maya.
in the pits.
So then I guess Castorp and Clapano will pass him. Maybe not.
So Max now up. Max Melamed is now up into 2nd place. So once again, they take 2nd place. And Robin Bondon back up to 3rd. Can Franco Scalet take 5th? Take 4th away from him. It could be happen. In fact, I believe it is. Over the line he comes now, and yes. Can he lose now? 6th place. No, in fact he's still 4th because I've not realised their lap's down. Never mind. Anyway, so we got a little bit excited then, but never mind.
Thank you to Rickow in the chat room. Why is there not 2309123455 viewers on this broadcast? And the Doc Blade says, "Shush, Unmans, we have secret viewers," of which there is now discussion around whether Race Department is fake news. But we're delighted that you're enjoying the broadcast.
All I'd like to say is the reason we don't have that many viewers today is because of Eurovision.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Finally, someone else that's going to be watching it. Have you got a favourite?
Romania. No, Moldova.
Ole.
No, Moldova, of course. Epic Sax Guy.
Epic Sax.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard a single song yet, except the Norwegian, but yeah. They are my favorites in a way because of Epic Sax Guy.
Yes.
Also, I see that Alex Di Maio left the car and Ian Navarro has taken over with the Aston Martin.
I just, really quickly, I'm Italian. Go Italia.
I don't understand what I'm singing, so no.
I've not heard their song yet, but apparently it's one of the favourites.
Yeah.
So you may well win, Lorenzo, without even being European.
I have an Italian passport.
Oh, not you as well. Do you know, this is a minor segue whilst it's quiet. So I've been talking to someone online who's moving to Britain and found me on a rather dubious dating website. And they're Brazilian, and they've just been in Italy to get their Italian passport. Is this a common thing for Brazilians to also be Italians?
Oh, we got a massive crash with the
Oh
Martini
yes, I see.
car
There's
and-
a Corvette, and it's Baldy. So Baldy, I believe, down in 8th place. That's I'm furiously hitting my keyboard to try and get it back. So yeah, Damien Baldy in 7th place. Oh dear, that's let's have a context of this. So Roguez is currently 2 drivers left-hand side. Just from the angle I'm looking at it on, from the swingman outboard the car, Roguez, was he trying to go into the pit lane or something? Maybe because he just turns in. Maybe didn't notice that Damien was there, and then as a result loses a whole load of time for him. because he basically just turns in on him. Now my
Yeah,
thinking is, was he trying to go into the pit lane? Was
I think
Bogo's
so.
trying to go into the pit lane? Because he
Could
then
be,
reverses
but-
backwards on track and nearly hits Chris Stacey as well. And yep, he does go into the pit lane. So
But only one person can actually answer this question with such precision. And he's just joined our channel.
ah,
Hello, Mr. Peter Lee.
Peter,
Whenever
you
he
there?
has a microphone working.
I'm gonna blame this all on fake news.
Yeah, hashtag fake news, hashtag fake mic.
Fake
Hashtag-
Peter.
Peter isn't a real boy. You know, something along those lines, I'd suggest anyway. But yeah, anyway, so until Peter realises he's here, we'll just carry on, shall we?
Yeah, I'm
Um,
jumping back to Eurovision, the Italian song. They're talking about nude monkey dancing.
Ah, yes.
So yeah, interesting. I think I'll
Can't
leave it at
wait.
that.
Although there is yet again, it's another year where there's only one or two like really, really nutty entries, where they have gone full hog. I'd like to see quite a lot more stupidity, like what there used to be about 10 years ago, where people cared a little bit less.
Is that a technical term? People don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because it's so highly political, and then it got political to the point where it was so political it was funny. Then they started adding in semi-finals, because basically the thing got so long, and every country was entering in a stupid song. So now what they do is they have two semi-finals, and then they have judges vote on what they think is a good song, and that gets half the score, and the audience gets the other half of the score. And so the judges are obviously trying to not make the stupid songs win, whereas the audience are. So it ends up that quite often the most stupid, silly stuff is the stuff that doesn't actually get seen in the final, and so you lose the silliness of it all. Alistair Long is saying that there is a P2 dead out on track on fire.
Oh, it's the number 21 car stuck out coming, rolling backwards. That car is the number 21, which was running.
Douglas Simonelli.
Yes,
16th.
Douglas Simonelli, so 16th place, and I've enabled replay mode. It's been there for 40 seconds, 50 seconds. Well, it's been there for a little while because its sector time is about. Ooh. So he comes out of the pits and he's fine, and the engine's already basically steamed out. Smoke pouring out the back of it comes up, and all of a sudden the revs just drop.
Another overheat in the pit lane, I wonder.
Yes, it is. The clutch goes in. Clutch goes in, clutch goes out. Engine's dead. Front tyres just don't want to rotate, and that is the end of that. And that's also stuck.
It is. So I guess if I don't know if they'll do the same again, but that in theory is pure retirement, surely, isn't it? To join Van der Sloot, Babetto, and Vincent's in there.
Yes, I would imagine so. It is one slightly dead motor vehicle.
Yeah,
Right,
and-
VV dead. Essentially. Thank you, Mr. Long, for pointing that out whilst we was talking absolute tosh on the broadcast. Apologies. Douglas Simonelli, actually, he has form for this. So when he used to drive for me, his finishing versus retirement rate was quite similar to this race, and he ran into technical problems before actually putting in a blinding drive in the second half of Interlagos as well. So he clearly, I don't know if he revs the car a little bit and maybe causes a little bit more stress on the engine compared
He's a
to
car
some other
breaker,
cars.
basically.
Sorry?
He's a car breaker, basically.
Maybe. That might be the stat that you'd see if he was playing Motorsport Manager, yeah.
Ah.
But yeah,
Speaking of-
it's...
Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just about to say there's a cracking battle going on for 21st in the moment. Matthias Machado. And the number 121 needs a number 106 by about 3 car lengths at most. It's a little bit tight at the moment, so I suggest we go and have a gander at that for the time being, I suggest.
Yeah, and just to take the opportunity on Mateus, please don't crash with Mateus. Just to take the opportunity, I'm gonna give you bad news.
Oh no.
I'm not driving. Mateus is gonna continue.
Da, da, da.
And Jonathan has left the RMI motorsport car, and Roy Magnus is now driving.
Oh yes.
So the slow bus is behind the wheel. So here it is. So
Alright, I think we got someone we can bring in. Let's go. Hello, Mr. Jonathan. Oh, Kirkland.
Good evening, Jens.
Well, you just drove the RMI a few laps. Well, stint. How was your stint thus far, mate?
The first stint was perfectly fine up until I think I got about 3/4 of the way through the tank, and then we had some contact with another prototype car, and that threw us into the wall. Picked up some damage to the front clip, so I had to hit and replace that. Changed the strategy a little bit, took a bit less fuel in the car, and changed to a softer compound, and did the fastest laps I've done during the whole month, so pretty good.
I see. And what do you think Roy is going to do? Now Roy is on the car, as Pinky said. The grumpy boss now is on the wheel. So how do you think the grumpy boss is going to perform on the track thus far?
I think he'll be very consistent and decently fast. I know we were aiming for 205, so I think he'll be able to hit that. Maybe some 206s early because of getting the tires with the temperature, but yeah, he'll be good and consistent, I think.
Simon, do you have any other questions? I think you should take this one away.
Hello, Mr.
Good evening, Smithy.
Evening. Oh, easy governor, easy governor.
Easy, governor.
Light on the potatoes, you know what I mean? Yeah, so you guys have had a bit of a burn up from the back, but you was lapping really, really well towards the end of your stint. Where are you projecting yourselves to go in the future for this race? And is there any particular race in the future for the rest of the calendar that you're looking forward to showing again those rather fast hot lapping skills?
Well, that was more those laps were more a need than me wanting to go that fast. But yeah, in regards to your, sorry, what was the first of the two questions?
What other races do you have that you look forward to this season that you kind of go, I'm going to look strong now?
Well, look strong, I don't think I'll be able to do that anywhere really. I mean, that was, as I said, a need of pace, and I was able to find it. But Le Mans is always a nice place to go to, and a place where I personally want to do good at, and don't know really other than that.
And of course, the big question that everyone's been asked so far, what's the oldest piece of sim racing equipment that you own, or the first one that you got?
That would have been a... don't remember what the name of the item or the wheel was, but it was made in the 1992, and I owned that up until 2007 when I got my G27.
Nice. So yeah, anything you need to pass on to Pinky?
I think we're good. Thanks for joining in earlier for a few minutes.
Yeah, no
Wow.
problem.
He's always so chilled. I tell you, I'll have 2 of whatever you've had.
Swedish meatballs.
Ooh, yeah.
Good
wow.
choice.
Good choice.
I love getting my chops around some big juicy meatballs.
I'm sure you
and-
do.
Oi, oi.
but-
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
well, no,
Simon Smith, certified. I can't think I can go there because we'll get us both of us into
Yeah,
trouble. So let's leave it there.
certified muncher.
I'm
Yes.
just getting another notification from the higher ups. Sorry, what is? No meatballs. Okay.
What? I tell you what did confuse me. Last comment on any kind of meatballs whatsoever. I bought corn Swedish meatballs, and they tasted really nice because I'm trying to lose a little bit of my
Alright.
boobs.
Back
I
it up.
thought,
Back
ooh.
it up. Back it up.
It's quite nice.
What?
So I'm looking at cutting down on meat essentially, which is going to
What was
probably
the
affect a lot.
flavor?
So what?
What was the flavor?
Swedish meatball flavored corn.
Jeez, that is
That's,
a new one.
It's an interesting choice, I will admit.
It was really nice.
I'm
You
not
would never
doubting-
know the difference if you
I'm not
didn't
doubting
know.
it, to be fair.
But yeah, it confuses me because I just think, well, what is soya made of then? Because it gets me all confused. So yeah, if any sim racers out there are doing like proper diety things, can you please pop it in
Yeah.
the chat? Because I'm desperate to lose some booze.
Yeah. I lost
Just
some
in
kilos.
case that you don't fit your simulator anymore, and you need to get your custom chair, and you need to fit in it again. And I think whilst we speaking about simulators and the fact you don't fit in them anymore, what about this for segue? Vesaro, our sponsor here for the Race Department Le Mans series. Time to go for a quick commercial break. Vesaro there, our sponsor here at Race Department for the Le Mans series. I hope you all enjoyed my segue there because it was quite good actually. Simon just told me how much he enjoyed my my segue from not fitting in the simulator to, in fact, well, sim rigged. So some would say I'm good at this lark.
Yeah, and taking the note over here and just dropping meatballs everywhere and dropping people in. I think now we have a working microphone for a certain someone who had a microphone, wasn't working, game froze, game reloaded. Now everything's okay. Take your piece, Mr. Lee.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, welcome, Peter.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here again for round 2.
You came back.
I did, yeah. I didn't get sick of your takeaway nonsense and stuff like that, but...
Or his taste, or in fact,
Well, when I
his
say
take-
nonsense, I mean, it's a good idea, actually. I appreciated that, and I was thinking about ways you could make it even better, actually.
So you've not
My-
had
my
enough of
stomach's
Simon's
open.
taste for balls.
What did you say?
Meatballs, that is.
I thought that was a censored word.
Well, no, because I was talking about Swedish meatballs.
Oh, okay, right.
And Simon's taste for Swedish meatballs.
Ah, fair enough.
I'm not being out of context.
No.
Anyway, again, there's a motor race going on here. We've got a few people in the pit lane. We've got there's an Aston Martin. In fact, we've got the number 122 currently sat in the pit lane. Gentlemen racers.
Yeah, 29th. PART3 say that or something.
Amongst other things, yep.
That
And,
was not an easy surname.
no.
Announce.
I can appreciate that. Let's, in fact,
Yeah.
we've only got 2 hours of this race left to go, so I think it's about time we do an update as to what's been going on in the race. So, it is the number 25 Feeder Ragnar simulator car in the lead of this race. A clear lap ahead of everyone after 4 hours of running here at Silverstone, and they've really done well to get ahead of everyone else. Simtech They said before they've just not had the pace to keep up today. Max Melamed currently in that car in the number 2 car. Robin Bondon is currently 3rd in P2 and in fact overall for the number 17 Drillers Motorsport car. Jose Berengard, Berengura rather, in the number 5 Wilderson Racing Team is in 4th place overall. 5th is James Wilson in the number 15 Atlantic Motorsport car. Franco Scalet in the number 14 Dicania Endurance Motorsport car, ahead of Damien Baldy in the number 16 Team Comet car. Thomas Hinds is currently in 8th place for the number 4 Speedy Mike Racing car. 9th is Charles Bascio in the number 8 Talking Door Racing. Has he actually got out of that car yet? Right, because
Yeah,
he just
I was gonna say apparently Tobias Reiner's break has been extended.
Okay, so that's why Charles Bascio is still in that car, and David Berenek is currently in 10th place overall in the number 24 Team RGPL car. That actually spread by 4 laps. Of course, there's no cars on the lead lap beyond the race leader. 3 cars, 1 lap down, 1 2 laps down, 4 3 laps down, and 2 4 laps down. Let's go over to GTE though, and incredibly, it's still the number 116 FFT Corsa car. Alan Terzic currently in that car with a 12 laps down on the race leader after 4 hours of running. That's not bad actually. Only 39 seconds behind, about 40 seconds behind, is a number 115 All-Star Racing Team car. Oliver Schlabs in that car at the moment. The 108 Apex Eclipse car of Yuri Kazdorp, who we spoke to earlier, actually, he's currently racing in 3rd place in that Class 121 RC Motorsport team. Ian Navarro, currently in 19th overall, 4th place in class. 5th place is, let's say, Ogard in the number 120 11000 Bit Racing car. They're all covered by 13 laps on the race leader. Of course, Alan Terzic in the number 116 is only 12 laps behind. It will be then Arjen Taruna in the number 119 HM Engineering car, ahead of Matthias Machado in the number 106 Talking Door Racing car. Alex Arshela in the 107 MK Simsport car, and Christian Moreau is in the 105 Racers in Pyjamas car. Now, we've had a couple of retirements, sadly, mostly due to engine issues. So, we've currently got the number 22 car sat in the pit lane. Engine had gone on that car. Sherwin van der Sloot has had all sorts of connection issues in the number 3 Simtech car. They're still having issues. Luca Pavetta also an engine issue as now. 26th and 27th. That is Mark Greenall and Ivan Avinoa in the number 104 car. They've got a fantastic battle going along. 102.
Yeah, and Peter
Petr as
Ramuska
well.
is right ahead.
Ramuska, yes, just ahead. 3 cars, 3 different marks battling away. So as they come over the line now, which will be their lap 120. You never realise just how many laps these guys can cover in this time, really, do you? But they're battling away very nicely indeed. But the battle for 26th and 27th is the one we're looking at the moment. Up towards the farm complex. And just a couple of car lengths separates the two. They're not going to be going completely flat out in terms of trying to chase each other, try and, attack every corner with the same verb. Obviously they're trying to, but within their limited pace, they want to get the car to the end. You've still got 1 hour and 50 minutes left to go, so you've still got to be reasonable with the precautions you take in order to carry on. Up to Brooklands they come now, though. The Aston Martin having a bit of a look. KFC, Colonel Sanders on the top of that car. But nonetheless, the Racing Club.es sponsored car. Simon will quite enjoy this one for the takeaway references on there. But
I've practically just put on my dinner on the car.
yeah. Oh, it'd be great to have a KFC.
The chat room has kind of gone off into weird foods, and we're currently discussing how banana pizza is a war crime. So I kind of
pizza.
agree.
Banana pizza is not a goddamn war crime. Whoever says it needs to be put on a bowl of fire, be made of pizza, of meatballs.
Swedish, please.
Strong opinions
Swedish
there from Lorenzo.
meatballs.
So why is it not a war crime then, Lorenzo? You have to sum it up briefly because we have got nearly a change for position. So you've got about 2 car lengths in order to make your
All right,
summary.
I bought 2 car lanes. Number 1, banana pizza is glorious. Number 2, banana pizza is tasty. Number 3, banana pizza has the taste of heaven. Number 4, put some what is? Oh my God, I forget.
Well, whilst there you
Put
go.
put some eggs on it, like make like scramble, sugar. Put sugar on it, and it's delicious.
There you go, Lorenzo Bardnau as to why banana pizza is in fact not a war crime. Mark Greenall must have agreed there because he's gone ahead of Peter Vermuska coming into the final couple of corners, and now the 102 car is not content with losing 1 place. The Aston Martin, the 104, is in fact trying to have a go at him as well. So the Aston Martin not quite getting the run. Avinoa trying as hard as he can. He's in the tow. Right, looks at the left-hand side coming down the Wellington Straight. He does. He has a bit of a look. Is he going to go up the inside of Brooklands? The Ferrari brakes just so much earlier. All contact between the two. Just a slight nudge on the brakes. Nonetheless, though, the Aston Martin with 1 hour and 50 minutes left to go. Or 1 hour and 45 minutes left to go now. Has made it up into 26th. So it's Corvette 25th, Aston Martin 26th, and Ferrari 27th. And the Porsche of Matt Horse. Sorry to cut you off there, mate. But Matt Horse in the 28 is not far behind either, so he could get a position in the next 10 minutes or so.
I was a bit worried there with Ivan that he'd outbraked himself because he had that wheel locked when he went in for that dive. But that car, not only has it got the Go Faster racing stripes on it, Ivan Avinoa, they're really getting aggressive on the attack. And Petr wasn't exactly a wilting lamb on the defence either, so but knew when to stop, essentially, for it to cause more trouble, especially as you say with Matt Horse there, not too far back as well. Of course, him making a bit of a burn from the back because of all of those penalties that he had earlier on in the race, which has kind of left that team as a whole a slight bit out of position. So you'd think in theory that Matt Horse will get up onto the back of this trio and potentially start causing a little bit of rowdy issues for them if they're still relatively close together. So plenty of time for salivating battles for the GT category, I think.
And we've just had another change of position between Damien Baldy and Franco Scarlett for 6th position. Scarlett moved over on the hanger straight to let Damien Baldy through, and he's now just gone past the Ferrari, which I believe is 2nd place in GT. Indeed, that is Oliver Sklabs, who is in. I bet I've pronounced that wrong, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. And Scarlett now gets up the inside as well.
Exactly. It's they had a bit of an issue then earlier, Baldy. Of course, he had that bit of contact with one of the GT cars, which had meant he struggled somewhat. Did manage to go back into the pit lane, get it repaired, now running back out, making up for lost time. And James Wilson is not far away up the road, so 5th place could yet be on for him as well. So we just have to wait and see. They will have to buy this time and see what happens, but I predict there still could be a change of lead, or change of position rather, in the next few laps potentially.
I wonder if Matt Horst have a brake pedal issue. I noticed on the start-finish straight last lap that he slowed down. He shifted up and slowed down. And when I'm inspecting his car now, I see his brake lights are flashing.
And Vermuska has just gone off the circuit and dropped back as well, behind. So he's gone back down to 28th position overall.
Oh, okay, so he's lost car going through Magnussen Beckett's, and that's a bad time to lose it. That was Peter Vermuska, who does rejoin. As for the Porker, I'm not entirely sure what that car's doing. It seems like he's running fine at the moment. Maybe he was having a few issues a moment ago, but nonetheless, looks like it's running fine now.
Yeah.
Skelet also in the pit lane as a additional, by the way. So as they carry on, just trying to have a look as to what is actually happening out on circuit.
We've got another relatively close battle between Carlos Baccio and David Berenek for 9th position, both on the start and finish straight at the moment. Of course, Baccio, as we mentioned, has been in the car since the start, I believe, so he's going very well for having 4 hours in the car almost.
Yes, incredibly well. He's been driving very well in that car, running relatively cleanly as well. And that beautiful Ligier and that lovely yellow livery, it does really make it stand out, I think, doesn't it, Peter?
Yeah, I actually like the Ligier. It's one of the cars that's not, of course, being closed cockpit, it's one of the cars that's different to all the others because the other ones are obviously open cockpit, so stands out in that respect, and it also stands out because of its colour. And I do like that yellow colour. I've always liked a yellow car, and that one's no exception.
And Peter Van Muska is past Matt Horst again, up to 27th.
Yeah, it looks like Horst has let him by there that he went wide on Maggots in order to let Van Muska by. So maybe he's having issues and
I'm
trying
still
to take it easy.
Still watching him, and the brake lights are on the straights. And
It
then
could
they
be
flash
that
off, and then they go on again. So it's not that he's activated his lights or anything. The brake pedal it's a bit sticky. He's losing a lot of time on the straights.
Yeah, that is unusual. It seems to come off sometimes, but at some points it just seems to stick on.
yes, the brakes do look like they're stuck on slightly. I mean, I'm looking at the brake, the discs at the front, and of course they are still glowing throughout most of the straight, and they're not losing their temperature in the way that you'd imagine they would do. So
And some contact as well there, just to make it even better.
there's an additional note actually. We saw Robin in 3rd place, or now down in 4th. Robin was in, but now it's handed over to Alexis Pardadot. So the 17 with a new driver installed, down in 4th. Jose Bermangura is coming in 3rd. Max Miliband obviously in 2nd, and 1st for Milek. So as we make our way ever closer to the end of the race, just keeping a good eye on things that are happening. And as you say, that Porsche does not seem to be having the cleanest of runs at the moment, which is a real shame. It was actually on its side earlier, which was both amusing and very sad to see. Because obviously you never sort of anticipate cars being on their side, but it's a sad sight to see, because the Porsche is still a Porsche, it's still a lovely motor vehicle, but
Yeah, he's definitely having issues because he's just been passed quite easily by the Ferrari on the straight. So, very odd issue to have, and you wonder whether he's going to hand over to another driver and see if he can get his pedals fixed and come out later on. But at the moment, he's going to continue, and there's been a spin there.
oh, and there's yeah, he's stuck. The Porsche is stuck and moving now, but
he stole the engine.
ah,
I believe it was Oliver Slabs who was spun at the club section.
Got into the back of Baccio, that was what happened. But to Constantino effect, the Ferrari couldn't quite get it stopped, goes into the back of the Ligier. The Porsche gets into the Ferrari, which rights the Ferrari, but the engine just cuts out for the Porsche, and then eventually does get restarted and going, but
So it seems like the battle for 25th position is the only one going on out on track at the moment, and even that one is slightly spread out between Mark Greenall in the Corvette and Ivan Abinoa in the Aston Martin. Corvette is the TXL Racing 103 car. The Aston Martin is, of course, the 104 Racing Club Endurance Team car.
Yes, and it's, as you say, just getting to the point where the gaps will start to open up slightly just because of the length of the race, but I think some people have been starting to go to the pit lane as well, so we could be into the next round of pit stops potentially. So, you know, it's a time where we won't see quite as much battling, but we will still start seeing people come into the pit lane, get driver changes, get fuel and tyres, and eventually things will happen as well.
Talking of pit lane, here comes Max Malamed from second position. He is driving the number, as I search around the car, or a number.
The number 2 car.
Yes, that's correct, number 2 car of the Simtech Motorsport car.
Yeah. Also in, Oliver Schlabs also comes in, obviously, to get the repairs done to his car. Nelson in the No Fear car is in as well. John Nelson is in, but now leaves his pit stall to move down.
So he's going to rejoin in 36th position. Did that car have problems in the pit lane? Is that
Which
what
car?
happened there? The number 1, 2, 3 No Fear car?
It was sat in there for a little bit, I think, but I'm not quite sure what happened. So
and Max Malamed is now exiting the pit lane. He remains in second position. Jose Bringa is closer. He's come through the first complex, whereas Malamed is heading alongside Damien Baldy, who is currently in sixth position, 2 laps down on Malamed, but still entitled to keep his position. Of course, there's another few battles going on. Go on.
I was about to say, actually, no. If you talk about battles, please do enthuse me, because
I was going to mention the sort of battle between 20th, 21st and 22nd, which is Arwin Taruna in the orange and black HM Engineering Corvette, Matthias Mercado in the Talking Door Racing Corvette, and Casper Stolze, who, of course, is part of the 11000-bit racing team who won the first round. So, sort of a battle. I mean, they're fairly spread out, but compared to some other battles on track, they're relatively close.
Yeah, and for 11th overall, Christopher Aponte and Matt Beavis. Matt is a bit faster each lap now, so you probably catch Christopher in a lap or 2.
Yeah, it looks like Christopher's been in the car for about 10 laps at the moment, or at least been in this set of tyres and fuel. He goes around the Corvette.
And it looks like Avinoa is actually closing in ever so slightly on the Corvette of Mark Greenall as they come up towards the final chicane. They've got the BMW, the chrome BMW ahead of them, which will probably hold them up a little bit as Matt's horse is now sat in the pit lane.
And swap driver. I think that's the best routine.
But yes, I think that will be more helpful to their problems at the moment.
Yeah, so Johannes Melikar is now in the car. Do you know if that's his first time in the car, welcoming on to the race, or has he been in before, do you know?
I'm not entirely sure, but we do also have Yuri Kasdorp into the pit lane for the Apex Eclipse Aston Martin.
And Matt Davis is making a move on Aponte for 11th.
So as you say, yep, into 11th place, just tries to get his nose in, and Matt Beavis can't quite do it in the number 11 MK Simport car. Christopher Aponte currently in the number 12 car as they come up towards Cops Corner. Not going to make a move around there. That takes a lot of big things in your trousers to do that kind of move around there. Up towards Magnus and Beckett. They're going to try and go side by side. They've got a lapped car. Can't quite follow him through. Quite sensibly keeps it out of it. But oh, Christopher goes wide. He goes wide. And Magnus and Beckett, he loses the position. Just got a twitch on through the corner. And ultimately, a loss of grip is what happened there.
Yeah, I was going to question if there was contact at first, because from my camera angle I couldn't really see where there was, but I presume it was just a slight twitch from Aponte and...
Caught the curb, yeah.
Yeah, there was no contact at all.
Yeah, so Matt Beavis is really on his charge, because he was a few seconds behind the last time around this section, but now of course he's in front.
And he's
between 2 and 3 seconds faster on each lap, so...
There you go then. He is about half a sector between himself. He comes into the farm complex now. David Beranek is currently coming through Brooklands, so the number 24 is not it might still be susceptible. We'll have to see how the next couple of laps go. But as the race continues, we shall see what goes on.
Yeah, it looks like the battle for 20th will be heating up as well, as Machado is faster than Taruna and Stoltz is faster than Machado again. They are getting closer and closer.
Yeah, but don't forget that Stoltz made a pit stop just early, so naturally he's faster than Machado. As Machado, if I'm not, I could be spitballing, but he's probably on the final end of his first stint.
We've also got someone now in the green room. We have got Amedo Fiorella sat in the green room, so if we bring him in, we'll give him a few questions as well. So Amedo, talk us through your stints.
Yeah, my stints were pretty long actually. I did one stint more than I expected because I made a rookie mistake, not selecting my teammate as the next driver. Anyway, this kind of played out good for us, and yeah, my teammate Osasui is kind of working like a crew chief for us. He's doing an amazing job. You would not imagine this could have been possible without him working so hard for us. And obviously Alan he's amazing behind the wheel, and we are trying to keep it together until the end of the race. My stints were okay. I mean, I had a couple of problems with some P2s and GT cars while lapping.
Yes, it's certainly been interesting, some of the traffic that's been happening out there. We've seen a few people been making contact, a few mistakes. Did you see much of that whilst you were in the car?
Uh, yes, I've seen a Porsche rolled out on the side and a P2 on the other side. So I don't know actually what happened. I think it was Redshift Racing. And also I also been involved in some of the contacts and weird lapping, you know. But overall, I mean, for 3 stints all in a row, I cannot really complain about it. It's more like usual traffic and where you cannot really have a clean lap through the whole stint, you know. But that was quite good overall.
Well, it's glad to say that you enjoyed the race, you enjoyed your stints. What are you going to go and do now? Are you going to go and have a lie down in the beer, or?
I think so, yes. I will probably just eat something and watch the streaming, keep talking to my teammates, and yeah, I would get the occasion to say hello to a teammate who's not with us today, Dennis Lind, because he's actually racing in Silverstone in the Blank Pen series, and best luck to him for the weekend.
Well,
Thank you
thank you
guys
very
for the streaming.
Yes, well, thank you very much. One question that we've been asking everyone as they've been coming in is, what is the oldest piece of sim racing hardware that you have, or the first piece you ever got?
My oldest piece of hardware, it's my Logitech G27, which has been with me all through my sim racing career, and that's basically my rig and a 27-inch monitor. I'm not that fancy.
Well, excellent.
Actually,
Oh.
I have an extra question.
Go on.
Mr. Amadeo.
Go on.
Mr. Amadeo, as I can see you're Italian, we can have a chat about pizza.
Yeah, what's your
But-
favorite kind?
Here we go.
Banana in the pizza, war crime, tasty,
Tea.
or
Say that
or
again,
fake
please.
news.
Banana.
Banana pizza, war crime, tasty, or fake news.
I'm really like without words to answer you. That's like the weirdest thing I. I mean, I could not imagine. I mean, I've gone as far as pineapple pizza, but banana pizza. I think it goes like more like a war crime. You should not tell that to an Italian, like in a normal situation.
So I'm gonna have to cancel my citizenship then. But nevertheless, thanks for coming, Amadeus. Congratulations on your stints. I hope we can see you driving or communicating with your teammates, and let's see how the F50 Corsa does on the rest of the race.
We just gonna play it safe. I think we're gonna keep Allen on the car, and yeah, cruise till the end of the race. Have a safe finish, and let's see if we get into some battles then.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming along. It's been great to speak to you. Go and enjoy your lie down and your beer and your non-banana pizza.
Okay, thank you. Keep the good work up, guys. Thank you for the streaming again.
Thank you. So there you go. Armado Fiorella there discussing with us about his stints in the car, and despite Lorenzo not getting the answer he wanted, I thought that was quite an interesting insight as to sort of some of the action we had on circuit. As we've also got Matt Beavis into the pit lane, as well as Johnny out into the pit lane now as well, and almost goes into the barrier. That wasn't pretty at all. So we've now got the.
Meanwhile, really quickly, Casper just kept up to Mateus. Mateus going a little bit wild on cops. Still has the advantage over Maggots. Goes Maggots inside, no problem. Into Beckett's, no problem at all as well. Casper just playing impatiently. He knows he's gonna pass Mateus eventually because of the tires. But all drivers having a good exit. I think better exit goes to Casper, and what Mateus can use if once Casper passes him, it's the
Adios
benefit
the
of
move.
and there's a dive bomb. Oh boy. Well, either way, Casper makes the move. He's in 20th first now, but not the safest of moves you want to do over there on Stowe. That is a dangerous move, even though you have spent tires. You don't want to dive bomb over there. That is dangerous.
No, there was a slight.
Oh, and there's contact on the
Oh,
main straight as
massive
well.
crash on the start-finish
That
line.
was our second position
Taruna,
driver,
yes?
wasn't it? No, it wasn't. Was it?
That
No, it
was
was-
Erwin Taruna
Oh, it
with
was Muska, wasn't it?
No, Taruna and Peter Hummel.
Yes, Hummel
So,
there and
21st
Taruna.
and
Thomas
30th.
Hins just avoided in the P car. So Hins, the man in 7th place, just avoids that. But that was quite an interesting chain reaction then.
Yeah, and now Arwen is gonna have to manage to drive his car with a suspension damage because his car steering wheel is switching quite heavily to the left.
Yeah, and it's also meant that there's now a three-way battle for 20th and overall. I believe it's 5th in GT between Stoltz, Taruna, and Matthias Mercado.
Yes.
So we're also in the mix in the Talking Door Racing Corvette.
I guess that Stoltz is going to draw away from them. But Theo Badre has retired 15th.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
What, does it
Friendship
tell you what
Fox
was
Racing.
with? Oh, it's another engine issue. Oh dear, that's.
Not sure, it just says DNF, not engine on him. So
Could
that
be
be
a
a disconnect?
disconnection. Let's see what is going to happen to Theo.
He was in the pit lane a few moments ago, so.
Another bit of exciting news that has gone on since we were interviewing is that there's now 2 drivers on the lead lap because the Feeder Ragnar simulator team have transferred to Nikodem Wisniewski. Wisniewski, thank you very much, Lorenzo. And that has allowed Max Melamed to go on to lead lap. Admittedly, he's only 10 or 15 seconds in front of them, but nonetheless on the lead lap.
Endymion Baldy on the pits right now for Team Comet. He might be overtaken by Charles Baccio. Charles is on the start finish line going through club. So very likely he's going to be overtaken by Charles.
And Charles has indeed moved up to 7th position for Talking Door Racing's prototype team. I believe that means they're running 7th in both classes. Talking Door Racing, 7th for Matthias Mercado, and also for Charles Baccio.
Yeah, but it remains to be seen how Mateus is gonna manage with Arwen. Arwen is actually having a lot of trouble with this car. It's very noticeable the trouble that Arwen is having. He's basically losing at least a second per lap from his normal pace. So Mateus could attempt to make a move after Maggots and Backets, because making a move on Maggots and Backets itself is not what he wants to do, but he can do it. But let's see, it depends on how Mateus is going to exit Backets. Going through Chapel now, Mateus having the inside line, a better line compared to Arwen. Now he has the draft to work on Arwen, and let's see if Mateus is going to attempt a dive bomb on Stowe like Casper did with him. No, he doesn't, so he's gonna work on Arwen to make mistakes, but Mateus is making mistakes on his own as well.
We've now got Mas Hins in pit lane from 6th position. So he is going to be handing over that Speedy Mike racing car, I believe.
Yeah, and just been overtaken by James Wilson. Charles Baccio is gonna overtake him as well, so...
Yeah, and in fact that battle for 5th and 6th is actually closing up because James Wilson is just going into the complex at
there's
Farm and Abbey.
there's a lap between them then.
There's a
Oh,
lap
there is a
between
lap
them,
between
so no battle.
Ah.
Meanwhile, to the rest of the field, if you are missing out on the action, my name is Lorenzo Bonder. I'm with Mr. Peter Lee on the commentary, Mr. Olimpa Marius Pinky Mirvold. Well, Pinky is his nickname. I don't know if it. I don't know. Is it your nickname or?
Yeah, it's my nickname. Yeah.
It's his nickname. I mentioned as much. And also Dan Marr, which is probably taking a break. And yeah, he is. And on the cameras is Mr. Joseph Wright. And if you haven't been following the action, we still have a little less than 1 minute and 16 to go over here. Of course, there's still a lot of race left here on Silverstone, on the Thrustmaster 6 Hours of Silverstone for the Vesaro, the race department of Vesaro Le Mans series. For those who are not following.
He's gone off at club. It looks like he's trying to rejoin without hitting anyone. In fact, he had...
And I would be really, really, really pissed off if Mateus actually crashed on Charles.
Yeah, and it looked like he'd got past Darwin Taruna as well, so he's now got to do all over again. So that was something we missed on screen. So back down to 7th position.
He went past him when he made a mistake.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Did he cut the club section then, I presume?
Yeah. So he might have a drive through as well.
Yeah, my mistake.
So basically, after that, basically recapping the situation, Nikodem Wisniewski, fourth feeder Ragnar Simulator, he's in first place. Max Melamed is in second. Simtech Motorsport, Drillers Motorsports, Alex Parado is in third place. Fourth place is David Trueba from World of Sim Racing Team, and in fifth is James Wilson from Atlantic Motorsport. That's your P5 for the prototypes. In the GT section is Alan Tazic for FFT Corsa in first place. Second place is Ian Navarro for RC Motorsports team. He's in second. Yuri Kosdorp is in third for Apex Eclipse number fourth. Fourth place is Oliver Schlapp for All-Star Racing team. And in fifth place is Capper Stolza from double one triple bit team, which is the 11 000 bit team, or 24. Wait, 0 1 2 4 8 16. Yeah, 24. I'm still good at bit stuff. My programming is still strong. But that's your P5. That's your top five for GT. We still have a lot of race left. Around 1 minute and 12 minutes into 1 hour and 12 minutes into the session.
I was going to say that Ricardo Umans was making a move on Ignacio Hortal for 13th, and then he lost 2.5 seconds behind my team boss, Roy Magnus, during lapping. So yeah, no fight.
Yeah, there was
yet.
There was a lot of prototype and GT cars around that Maggots and Becker's section that Umans had to negotiate, so he's lost a couple of seconds to Horschel because he was catching him for the previous section of that lap, but unfortunately now he's a number of seconds behind. But these two are still on the same lap, so of course they can change positions.
Yeah, and this seems to be a second faster each lap as well, so give it a lap or two and there's a big fight again. At least I hope.
And also it seems like Thomas Hinz is closing up on Daniel Gomez. He's 2 GT cars and a prototype behind, but even so coming into Brooklands and Luffield and Woodcote now.
Yeah, and Yuri Kostak is closing on Ian Navarro for second in GT, 17th overall. 3 seconds between now and 4 seconds last time. So
Yeah, and it's
might
good
be
to
some
see Aston
battles out there
Martins
now.
at the front as well.
Just really quickly, remember viewers, first of all, thank you for, we just passed our goal of 2,300 subscribers. Wink wink, thank you a lot for that. And we still are on with our giveaway for a Thrustmaster shifter, the T8PA or TAPA8A or whatever the name of the shifter, but it's around that name because I usually am not good with names sometimes. But it's Thrustmaster shifter nevertheless, high quality stuff. For you, if you wanna win that thing, the shifter, go over our stream. If you're not a follower, please follow us on Twitch. The new followers, whoever followed us today, is gonna have a chance to win this very nice shifter free of cost. You're not gonna pay a one dime for the shifter. Who doesn't like free stuff, right?
Yep. And speaking of battles, it looks like Ricardo Umans is right in the back of Horschel again. So
Yeah, back to the 13th.
yeah, 13th position. They are currently last of the runners in prototype, but nonetheless keeping on going.
Fights for not being last as well.
Yeah.
That might actually be a bigger fight than for second and third. It's quite important to not be last.
Yeah. Ian Navarro and Yuri Kazdov are currently getting closer together as well. It seems like that gap has come down within the last couple of laps. Now just 2 or 3 seconds between them. Go through Luffield.
Yuri's at least 2 seconds quicker than 1 second and a half to 2 seconds quicker to compare to Ian Navarro. So yeah, Yuri is coming up quick and might even overtake him really shortly.
And we've also got a battle for 7th place between Daniel Gomez and Thomas Hinns. Those two coming out of Aintree onto the straight.
Yeah, they're just caught as Mateus Machado and Arwin are once again battling for position. So Thomas with the upper hand makes the move on Daniel Gomez and overtakes the Comet driver. For 7th place now, Thomas is on the back bumpers, overtaking both Mateus and Arwin. I think Mateus wants to make a move. Is going to be really careful to not do any mistakes. Daniel shuts the door eventually on Mateus. He goes offside into the turn, but it remains to see if Mateus has the move on Maggins and Beckett. No, he doesn't risk the move on Beckett. On Maggins, let's see how he's going to do on the exit of Beckett. Nice and smooth for the Brazilian driver. Let's see if the Mateus is going to have it. Switches his car back and forth on the exit of Chapel. But still Arwin saving his car against Mateus Machado, and we are at least 8 minutes from our final hour. Simon usually does his Segway bingo over here, but I think that isn't going to happen this time. Unfortunately, Simon is not with us into the broadcast anymore, as Charles Baccia moves into the pits for his final pit stop. Remains to be seen.
and he's actually transferred up to Tobias Rona. So after nearly 5 hours in the car, it seems Charles Baccio is finally going to get a race rest in the Talking Door racing car, and Tobias Rona can now take over as the driver for the last hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah, Tobias and Charles doing triple stints, just to clarify this much, just to correct you shortly, Peter, but I think Tobias is on his second stint or third stint, I cannot remember properly, but there's still a lot of things going on the field, like Ignacio Hortal and Ricardo Uman is battling strong on low field in the middle of Mateus Machado. Mateus is probably not liking this, as Ricardo has the rear on Ignacio. Let's see if the Red Shift racing driver is gonna be able to do something against the Wild Beavers, the Wild Beavers driver is gonna be able to do any moves, not on Baggett's and Beckett's. Let's see how the exit is going to do. That exit actually benefits the Ignacio, as Ricardo just went too wide on Baggett's. On Beckett's, just way too wide on Beckett's, and lost at least 0.3 of a second on that turn. Behind them, on the GT battle, Arwin just opening up the gap on Mateus. At least the gap is around 0.7 of a second. Let's see how the rest of the field is turning up thus far. There are not many battles. The closest ones are actually Mateus with Arwin, Ricardo with Ignacio, and some other drivers pursuing each other. There's actually one that is a very interesting one. Roy Magnus and Andres Quintana. There is a battle back in the field, but actually Magnus, it's more for glory of not being the last, but they are going hard still at each other. But the gap is still very big between each driver.
Yeah, Roy has been steadily faster over the last laps, but I'm not sure if he's tough enough to do a move, to get close enough and do a move. He tends to be a bit too kind as a driver, so
Meanwhile, we got Alex Arcella on the pits doing a pit stop. It sounds like Theo Badri is not going to be able to come back into the race, as the French driver probably has had some issue with his car, had enough, and retired for good. So that's one last of all the entire field. You only have 5 DNFs into the 39 driver field here at the Vesaro Le Mans Series, hosted by Race Department.
It's interesting actually how Mateus is, don't know if he's chosen or if he's just unable to get past Darwin, but for the moment he's still hanging 5 behind, and perhaps this is, well, first of all they're in the same vehicle, so that's not going to help. He's not got a speed advantage or a corner speed advantage, but also they're going to be a bit courteous with each other because they're manufacturer teammates, I guess. And that's, I believe, Tom Lombards who's just gone through. Yesterday's, he's a number of laps down in the prototype field.
Yeah, but one thing to notice between Mateus and Arwin is that their pace is actually pretty much equal. So it's not on Mateus' fault that he's not being able to make a move on Arwin. I think that's more Arwin's merit to be able to hold off Mateus and still be fast into the circuit. Still in the front, Mr. Nikodem Wisniewski basically taking a little bit of the foot off the gas, not taking too much risks. The Polish driver from Feder Ragnar, he knows that he got the win in the bag, just has to cruise the car around, not take any chances, just sort of work around the traffic and basically doing fast laps, but still very, very safe driving from the Feder Ragnar Simulator team.
It seemed he lost a second of his lead to Max Melamed, who is in the Simtech car, but I don't think that really matters at the moment because he's got a 1 minute 40 second lead, so 100 seconds lead at the moment, and he was in battles as well. He passed a number of drivers who are going down to cops. He was 3 wide, so I think it's just the to-in and throwing of endurance racing at the moment.
And Theo Bader has rejoined the game. And
Yeah.
race.
He actually rejoined the game, shutting my mouth for good into this matter of Theo Badri. I think he only had a disconnection or some computer issues, but finishing the race is what is important. And he's going to be able to finish the race, even though several laps down into the prototype field.
Also,
Yeah, and he's not going to be.
Kasper Stoltz is going on Oliver Schlabs for 17th overall, 3rd in the GT. Just 1.5 seconds between them now. So
Yeah, and that is actually for a podium position in that GT class. So
Kasper has good speed, just like in Interlagos. So
yeah, I remember using the car for quite a while and seemed to have very good pace in the Porsche, limiting his mistakes. Seems like he's catching the Ferrari.
Casper has at least 2 seconds on Oliver per lap, depending on how Casper does. But it's still, the German driver is still hella crazy into this track, and if from the way it looks, is going to eventually take 3rd place from Schlabs.
Yeah.
the Dane train is going good here as well.
Yeah, Slabs is currently side by side with the TXL Racing Corvette of Mark Greenall, who is currently 23rd in the overall standings.
Ooh, Matthias lost it on the first curve because of a back marker.
Oh. So that battle that was going
That
along.
battle that happened, better for Arwen. Arwen just unfazed by the fact that it was a surprise back marker right in front of him, and Matthias just got caught in surprise and had to turn his car, spun a lot on the first turn, losing several seconds to Arwen. Bad stuff for the Brazilian driver. Let's see if Matthias is going to be able to close down the gap once again, and who knows, engage in battle against Arwen.
Yeah, he's got Ian Navarro not far behind as well, so one more mistake like that and Ian Navarro will be right behind him. But good to see Theo Badri back in the race for Frenchy Fox Racing. He's currently 31st overall and making laps count. And in fact, we've just passed the 5-hour mark, so we've just got under an hour to go, and it is the Feder Ragnar simulator car of Nikodem Wisniewski, who is in first position in the prototype field. He leads Max Melamed, who is currently driving the Simtech International Team car. That car has been driven by him for quite a while now, so Melamed well into his stint. Alex Parado is third position at the moment. He is driving the number 17 Drillers car. Fourth position is David Trueba. He is driving the number 5 car. That is the World of Sim Racing team car, and they're on for a good result here with 4th position. Unfortunately, they didn't score any at into Lagos, but looking for a better result here. 5th position is James Wilson, the number 15 car. He's Atlantic Motorsport. They came 3rd at round 1, so another top 5 will do them no harm of good if they can finish where they are now. 6th position is Speedy Max Racing Thomas Hinds, who recently passed Daniel Gomez for that position. Daniel at the end of Hanger Straight, while Thomas Hinds is just coming into club section to complete lap 157 for that driver. Tobias Rona is the first of the Ligiers. He is in the Talking Door Racing car at the moment. Currently got James Wilson, who's 5th position in class, behind him, but still comfortably in 8th position. Roberto De Filipis is in 9th position. He is driving the number 14 car. That's the Sicana Endurance Motorsport car. And 10th position is Christopher Aponte, who's actually just come into the pit lane for that team. Presume a driver
he got
change.
involved into a crash with the back marker on the GT side, so he got a drive-through, basically doing his drive-through right now, losing position probably to Matej Suharnak.
Yeah, and in fact he's just resumed just behind Matej Suharnak, who is in the number 24 car. That's the Team RGPL car, so in fact can expect some battles in a couple of laps from those two, because Christopher Aponte of course was further up the field, so you'd expect him to have the faster pace, but of course in endurance racing the different drivers can make that difference.
Kasper Stolza is in the pits right now.
He was 4th in GT. He's currently lost a position to Mateus Mercado in the process.
Yeah, he'll come out 20th, I guess, right ahead of Oliver Schlabs as it passed him a
Yeah,
couple of laps ago.
Slab's currently coming into the final section of corners, coming onto the straight now, so unless he starts to get some move on, he's not going to be able to. And in fact, no, Slabs goes through and takes that 20th position. And they've had a driver change as well for that car as well.
Yeah.
No, who's driving that car right now is Lasse Ugard driving that car. Alan Terzic is in the pits right now. Yuri Kazdorp. Far behind, it's over the club, just overtaking, lapping himself down compared to Alan. But still one lap down, as Alan has a very, very smooth leadership against the Dutch driver.
And that 116 car didn't score in the first race as well, so the FFT Corsa team are in very good position to score maximum points, 30 points here. Of course, Yuri Kazdorp is just under a lap down now, so he's just unlapped himself. The second of the Aston Martins, the 108 Apex Eclipse car. 3rd position in class is Arwin Taruna, and he's just ahead of Matias Mercado. The two Corvettes running 3rd and 4th. Ian Navarro is also in an Aston Martin, the 121 car of RC Motorsport. 6th position Oliver Slabs, who's got Lasse Ogard relatively close behind, about 10 seconds apart at the moment as they come through and exit Maggots and Beckett's. Ivan Navinoa is in 22nd overall. He is driving the number 104 Racing Club Endurance Team car. And Alex Arkella is 23rd overall and 8th in the GT class, the first of the BMWs, driving for MK Simsport. So that is your order here with just over 50 minutes to go. And we'd like to remind viewers who are watching this RDLMS series here, sponsored by Vesaro in the Thrustmaster 6 hours of Silverstone, that you can indeed win a set of Thrustmaster pedals. Very good quality Thrustmaster pedals. And all you have to do is follow our stream page, follow this page, and you will be immediately entered into a draw.
Yes, Thrustmaster are giving away the wonderful Thrustmaster 7+1 shifter, which can also be a sequential shifter. And as you say, Peter, all you need to do is go and follow the Twitch page. That is literally the criteria for the entry, and then one lucky viewer will be picked out and given the wonderful shifter that we have here. And have I missed much whilst I've been gone?
You've missed a bit of action, but most of all, sort of fairly similar order, I should say. There's been a change in the driver of the Ragnar simulator car, and they have gone under a lap ahead of Max Melamed, who is in the Simtech International car.
Okay.
But other than that, I think things have remained fairly stagnant since you left. The only things happening so far have been pit stops, but of course those are as you'd expect.
Yes. And it's going to be an interesting last 50 minutes of this race. Can you scarcely believe it didn't feel like 5 minutes ago the race started? We're already 50 minutes towards the end of this race. It's quite something, and it's been some fantastic battling out there on circuit. We've still got plenty still to go. But my big question would be for you guys would be to, at this point so far, touching wood as you do, who would you suggest to be your sort of matches and the best people in the race? Your bets for the race kind of thing.
I would say the leaders of the R, Nikodem Wisniewski for Feeder Ragnar, dominating this race, I'd say, from the start. They did very well at Interlagos, of course, getting the win. It looks like they're on for another one. And Alan Terzik, he's got nearly a lap lead over Yuri Kazdorp, so I'd say as we are for now, especially as Max Melamed has made a pit stop as well, so he's gone a lap down again. And I was just looking to see how far these drivers have actually covered. And Silverstone, of course, 3.6 miles, and they've covered 165 laps, so I'm just going to get my calculator out and see how far they've gone so far.
So whilst you get your calculator out, it's time to get a quick word from Vesaro, our sponsor here for the Race Department Le Mans Series.
Welcome back to the Thrustmaster 6 Hours of Silverstone here at the Race Department of Vesaro Le Mans Series. We are now joined by Mr. Kasper Stolze. I think once again, I guess. I cannot remember, but hello, Kasper.
Hello, man.
Dude, you just did one really quick stint. Was it one short stint? I believe you were doing that with soft tires?
No, that wasn't hard. No, of course it was
What?
soft. No.
Wait, that whole stint was on hards. You were doing
No,
2
no, no,
minutes?
no.
No, he was
that's
being
soft.
he was being
Yeah.
silly.
Oh, okay.
That's soft
Because-
for sure.
Yeah, you were doing some really quick laps, like basically 2 seconds quicker than the rest of the field, and now your team is in a good spot so far for a 3rd place into the GT standings.
Yeah.
What do you think of the team performance thus far?
Well, now we are doing quite good, but the race, throughout the race, we have made a lot of mistakes, and Lasse, who was driving the car before I did my last stint, he was running a DX11, and the settings was not right, so he had a lot of stuttering. And Peter, who was in the car before him, when he handed over the car, he gave him the car with the wrong tires. So yeah, Lasse had a very hard job to do, and he couldn't keep up. So he was running about between 1 and 1.5 seconds slower than he did when we practiced for this race. So yeah, a lot of mistakes on our own part, but now it seems to go okay, and we hope that we can push for the 3rd place, but we don't know.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying you had some kind of silly mistakes, and What did you think about the field thus far? You think it was a good field to run in, or you had, or you thought it would be much more, not respectful because everybody was respectful, but a little less aggressive than expected?
Well, I think in general it's okay. There are some guys who are very aggressive when they are going to pass the GT cars. Of course, I'm talking about the P2s. But on the other hand, sometimes I do understand them, because if they get caught a trap behind us doing maggots or something like that, they really spend a lot of time behind us. And of course, nobody wants that, so they're quite aggressive, try to overtake. But yeah, it seems like the top field, the top part of the P2 guys, they are very experienced, very fast, and very good to execute the maneuver. And some of the other guys have, a bit of a problem sometimes to commit and show what they want to do, and then mistakes happens.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Dan or Dan, Peter, or Ole has a question to Mr. Stilza.
I'm afraid I don't have anything of any significance to ask, but I was just wondering talk us through because you race in the Porsche, what's it like to drive around Silverstone? Because obviously it's quite a fast circuit, so...
Yeah, it's well, I guess I can say now, because now it doesn't even matter much. But we run a very low downforce setup, and it's like driving a boat or something like that. It's very it wants to slide, and because of the engine is so far back, during the what do you call it, slower corners, it's like point and shoot. Turn it in on the brake, point it in the right direction, and then just hit the throttle and off you go. Use the traction from the engine. It's a bit of a different feeling compared to the Aston Martin, which have the engine in front. You can carry a bit more speed into the corner. But yeah, it's fun. It's good fun.
And finally, I don't know if you've been asked this about this bonus question. What is the oldest piece of sim race gear that you have in terms, or anything related to sim racing? What is the oldest thing that you got?
Oh, the oldest thing I got. I just have a quick look around. I think actually it would be the Logitech Black Momo, which is standing half ripped apart behind me. I used the rim from the wheel to another guy's Logitech G27, but that must be the oldest part around here. I think it's more than 10 years at least.
Wow. Well, I don't know if anybody has a question, but either way,
Yeah,
thanks for.
I have one question.
No.
That old wheel, was that what you used while you were driving Grand Prix Legends?
Oh, you remember me from Grand Prix Legends?
Yeah.
No, actually, at that time I was using a Thrustmaster Guillemot wheel. The Black Momo was, was existing at that time, but actually, that Momo wheel I have at my store right now is actually one I got last fall. I got it in November month, and only for the purpose of, take the rim from it.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah. But anyways, guys, great job on the broadcast. Seems to run very well this time, and yeah, thank you for a great race.
Well, thank you, Casper. Sorry, Danny. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the same as you. Thank you very much for coming to speak to us, and it's great to see that you enjoyed your time out there.
Yeah, I did. I tried to live stream it for first time from this series, so there's a lot to keep track on, but it's fun. Anyway, see you guys.
See you later. That car of Casper is currently running in 5th position, so they've moved up 2 positions since we've been talking to him, up to 19th overall and 5th in class. And it has to be said, not very far away from a podium, which is what Casper said he wished from the team from this position. Ian Navarro, God, I can't even speak my own language. Ian Navarro coming out of Aintree at the moment, whereas Lassie Ogard, who is in that 11000 bit racing car, currently coming through the Farm, Abbey and Aintree complex. So they're not far away from a podium position as Yuri Kastorp heads into the pit lane, as does Mate Surhanak and Tobias Rona also in.
Yes, and Savanok had to really sort of dive out of the way of the Aston Martin Yuri Kasdorp's car, obviously, as he came out as well. So that was quite an interesting thing to see as well.
Yes, and really quickly about the GT cars. Basically, we know who are going to be your first and second places. From the way this is looking, Alan is finishing his 150th fourth lap, while Yuri's in the pits. But the fight actually is still wide open in the third spot, because Ian, Arwin, Lassie, Oliver, and Mateus are all fighting for the third spot. Because here's the thing, Lassie and Oliver are pitted earlier, even though Lassie is with soft tires and he's going really quick. We need to remind that he pitted at least several laps before Mateus, which is the last car in terms of all those who pitted. So Mateus has a lighter car in essence. So here, what is going to be really important to the end of the race is strategy, because some drivers might have to go for stop and go. So now it's all about pace and strategy, and this is going to be very interesting coming down the final 40 minutes.
Yeah, and we're actually approaching 1,000 kilometers race distance for our leaders. 172.4 laps will mark 1,000 kilometers of racing, or 650 miles-ish of racing. So Nikodem Wisniewski looks like he's going to be the one who's going to overtake that mark, and we ran close to 2,000, I believe, at Interlagos, but here at Silverstone, of course, lap times slightly longer, even though it's a slightly quicker overall lap time, I'd say, in terms of average speed. But Wisniewski currently in control on lap 171 with under 40 minutes to go.
It's been a great drive from him, hasn't it? That just a most flawless drive from all of the teammates in there. There was an opening stint to remember for Cuba. Nikodem Wisniewski, when he's gone in, he's done his good job as well. Of course, all the other drivers in that car, Milan in as well, he did a fantastic job. So we mustn't forget that it is a great drive for them all, and it's been something that they really should be pleased with themselves with.
Yeah, especially after the first round at Interlagos, I seem to remember they running pretty much incognito. They were like ninjas. They came through with about 2 hours to go to take the race lead and then took it from there. But up until then, they seemed to be nowhere near the lead, and then suddenly came through and grabbed the 30 points, and then they've come here and bounced off that and bounced to a pole position. It looks like they're going to bounce to a race win. So FIDA Ragnar Simulator team, a brilliant drive. Of course, Cuba Brzezinski put it on pole position by half a second over the second position drivers, which I believe was, do you remember, Dan? I can't remember who it was who was second, but I remember second and third was very close. I think it was Shane Burke, in fact.
It was Shane Burke, in fact, yes. Shane Burke alongside the... it was the Simtech car, and it was the Atlantic car for a long while. It was battling away with them. But, yeah.
And Wisniewski is actually into the pit lane now, so this will probably be their final pit stop of the race. Yeah. And it might mean that Shane Burke can again go under a lap behind in the Simtech car, coming up on the BMW. And in fact, I think that's the first BMW in the GT field. In fact, it is, yes, of Alex Arkela. He's driving the MK Sim Sport car.
Yep. And in fact, it was a Driller's Motorsport car which was battling away Path was in the car at the time, as them and Shane Burke enjoyed a brilliant opening couple of stints.
Yeah, I remember watching the first 2 hours or so live, and it's a really good, eventful first couple of stints because we, of course, after the start we had the action with a lot of drivers. Of course, the start always very hectic, and then it seemed to be within 15 minutes we're coming up on lap traffic, which really threw a spanner in the works because I think a lot of drivers expected they'd get some clean air for longer. So coming up on lap traffic, of course, with the GTs that quickly, I think surprised some drivers, and they had to adapt to that. And then we had some early pit stops, and then the races just roller coasted from there.
Exactly. You're never going to expect traffic to come up on you as quickly as it does. It always seems to be quicker than you always anticipate. Even at places like Le Mans, you'll always see, even after 15 minutes, you'll be encountering cars. They've only, I say only, 6 hours of racing here, so not the biggest issue for them. But obviously, here, it's been a very point and squirt race. At times, some contact made, you know, drivers have made bad decisions, people have made bad decisions, and that's what happens. But at the end of the day, these guys are going out there and pushing as hard as they can for the best results possible, and that's a fantastic spectacle for everyone watching here.
Yeah, it's very true, and of course, it's only a quarter of what we're going to be doing later in the season when we go to Le Mans, but even 6 hours may seem like a long time for us, but compared to Le Mans, it's just a sprint, really. And I remember speaking to some drivers and on racedepartment.com, and some drivers said they weren't going to be racing at all just because they had too many drivers and they didn't need to do a stint. So that's something that has also changed compared to our opening round.
Yes, it's all changed, obviously, as you say, because of the fact that, as you say, you can just these races you only need 3 drivers. Some people only use 2 drivers around here, but it's 3 drivers always the best one. And we've also got Max Melamed waiting in the green room, and in fact into the contributors has come Max. Max, talk us through your stint.
Hello. Well, it was quite fun. 2 or 3 adventures happened in Maggots and Baggots, which were closer than I liked, but we were quite lucky, I think, because all the cars around us started to struggle. Because we were having a battle for P2 for quite a long time. I forgot who it was. Me spinning ended the battle, but then I think they did it and repaired some the damage or so. And suddenly there were 1.5 minutes gone, so I just hope that we bring P2 home. Would be good after the debacle at Interlagos.
So have you enjoyed your racing out there then?
Yeah, it was very good racing. As expected, it was quite adventurous at some points on some areas on the track, but I have to say the racing was very clean, and I think everybody tried its best to not crash into each other. Cut zones gave me quite a headache, but I think I'm not the only one who's struggling there. But yeah, overall we like the car. I have no idea what FIDA have done to their car, because that's just monster. Especially Kuba Brzezinski at the beginning was so unbelievable quick. We have literally no idea how they're doing that. But yeah, server was fun as well, because no lags or issues or so. So I'm already looking forward to Le Mans.
So of course, will the team be expanding? Will you have any more drivers coming on board for Le Mans?
No, it should be Shane, me, Luke Walsh, who hasn't raced until now. He's a bit lazy, and Kevin. So we will be 4 people. Maybe we'll do it as 3 as well. We don't know yet. 3 to 4 people will be on the car.
Well, there we go then. That's how we'll look forward to that. And yeah, Shane, I must admit, Shane has been doing an exceptional job in the first stint and now, isn't he?
Yeah, true. We were looking into how much time we still have to do, and now he's just fuel saving at home, so to say. And yeah, in the beginning, his starting stint was mega. He was without any spins or whatsoever. Managed traffic very well at the beginning. Yeah, he's so experienced in the LMP2s. It's like I'm pretty new to the LMP2s, so he's very good with this. Also, like where to overtake and not make any mistakes while doing that. So, as expected, he's doing a super job. Yeah.
Well, that's excellent to hear. And it's good that you're looking forward to Le Mans. I believe in 6 weeks' time. Have you conducted many 24-hour races before?
I've done, I think, 2 or 3 of Le Mans races, and I've done, let's be honest, countless 24-hour Nordschleife races, which I still find to be the hardest ones. Yeah, well, I've done some, much in every known endurance track. I've done at least one endurance race for 12 or 24 hours. So, knowing how tired I am, I'm prepared to know how tired I will be.
Well, it's good that you're looking forward to it, and it will be a fantastic race.
Yeah.
If any of you guys got any questions for Max?
I think
No, I don't.
Perfect.
I think
Yeah.
I'm all good.
So the only question we have left to ask you then, Max, is it keeps being mentioned to us, and this is something that we need to point out. What is the oldest sim racing equipment you have? / what is your first sim racing stuff you had?
The first wheel I ever had was a Microsoft Force Feedback Sidewinder. Those black and red ones. But at the moment, the oldest hardware, well, I just bought myself a T300 RF, so it's pretty new. But maybe the seat I'm sitting inside, I've got, what is it, the play seat? I'm sitting in, I think, second hand, so it's 10 years old or 5 years or something like that.
Oh, well, fair enough. Well, it's good to hear. We've heard the Microsoft Sidewinder wheel several times actually, so.
I think that was like the wheel to have 10 years ago or so. Or maybe even longer. I think it was my first wheel where I started serious driving. And did a good job until all the buttons were broken, so I couldn't upshift anywhere anymore. Or downshift.
That's helpful.
Yeah, very helpful. Yeah, but yeah, definitely Sidewinder. If you want to have, I've had a joystick before that, but I haven't done any racing with it. Flying. So maybe that counts as well.
Well, there we go. Well, thank you very much, Max, for coming to join with us.
Yeah, see you soon.
And we will see you at Le Mans.
Don't fall asleep until then.
Yes.
Anyway.
So, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll hear from you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
So yeah, that was Max Melomad as part of the Simtech Motorsport team. The car number 2 is the one he races in, currently with Shane Burke at the wheel. And we've got less than half an hour of this race left to go. I'm quite sad really, because I'll be sad when this race ends. Because it's just weird, because obviously we've been here for so long, but it just hasn't felt like it, so...
Yes.
There you go, Lorenzo agrees, so... That's all we need to know. So yeah, let's focus now on the now though. We've still got 30 minutes of racing left to go. Someone ran wide. We had the number 23 car, the Hortel currently. Ignacio Hortel, I think, is in the car at the moment. And he went wide, clipped the green Aston Martin, the No Fear Aston Martin, going through maggots around the outside, just clipped him. Both of them ended up in the barrier. Both of them came into the pit lane to get repaired. And they're running out fine now, but to be fair, the Aston Martin, the No Fear car, has really had a race to forget, hasn't it? Not a poor run from them, because it's not really their fault, but the that car definitely not having a great evening. The number 123 DR Motorsport No Fear car.
Yeah, and I remember early on, Simon was commenting on how it looked like the South African flag, and I can see what he means. It does bear resemblance to it.
Yes, I can. And James Wilson's out now. Okay, so could that be a disconnect? He's listed as a DNF, and Christopher Ponte as well has DNF. So 5th place, the number 5 Atlantic Motorsport car in the garage with half an hour left to go. What a shame, because that was enjoying a decent run out. Hopefully they can get back into the server. If not, that'll be what a shame for them, as they tried so hard today. It's not quite gone their way at the best of times, but nonetheless, they've given it the all. That's all that could have been asked.
Quick mention, Roy Magnus now in 30th first is overtaken Mr. Peter Hummel.
Oh, and the number 18 has had a spin. The KRT Racing car, Tom Lambert in that car, coming through the corner at Stowe, just puts the throttle on ever so slightly too much, goes off and basically does a Marcus Ericsson, which is a big shame for that car, but
there's currently a battle going on for P3, in fact, between Alexis Parado and David Trueba. Trueba lost the position on the Hanger Straight to Parado, and it looks like through that battling that Parado has been able to break away slightly, but Trueba still staying with him, so it could be a battle as they head towards the final 25 minutes.
So Drillers Motorsport then back into 3rd place at the expense of the number 5 World of Sim Racing team car. Of course, that was towards the order we had earlier on, but I'm sure the number 5, after getting this far, will say I'm not giving up that place in a whim. So they'll be going out as hard as they can to try and regain the position they've gained during the course of the race.
It's good to see James Wilson back in the car. He's back out on circuit, and he didn't lose any positions either, which is equally good news. And of course, that car got a podium at Interlagos for the prototype and overall finish, so looking to continue this string of consistent results with another 16 points here, it looks like, on the board.
Exactly, it's going to be a great result for them. And at the end of the day, it's exactly what you want to see, I believe, isn't it? So,
yeah, and it's going to be the first point score for both Drillers and World of Sim Racing as well. Drillers, of course, had that disconnection, I believe, at Interlagos, and World of Sim Racing also had a similar incident where they couldn't score any points and had to retire. And in fact, David Trevor's just gone across the grass in order to overtake a GT car. I believe that's one of the Porsches.
We'll have a look now, and well, Ogard is still running out in 17th, so the Porsche, I can't seem to find it, so it must have carried on.
It is Johannes Melikar, I believe.
Johannes Melikar, okay, so the number 114 Redshift Racing car down in 28 will be the car you're mentioning. Is I got excited then, nothing, no, ignore me there, but as the car which is in 28 is carrying on up towards Cops. That car comes now.
In fact, the battle for 5th place is almost as close as the battle for 3rd place, because Daniel Gomez is being caught, I believe, by Thomas Hinz. Both heading towards Magnus and Beckett's now. Daniel Gomez in the number 16 Team Comic car, who got 4th position at Interlagos, so 5th position here isn't going to be much worse than that. 6th position, Speedy Mike Racing's Thomas Hinz there, number 4. 14 points at Interlagos, so going even better here by 1 position, so they're ever improving and they're ever catching Daniel Gomez, and in fact they're pretty much right on the back of him now.
It's going to be a very good little battle this to determine 5th position overall. And it's certainly going to be interesting to see what happens. So as they come up towards the line now, 176 laps they've completed, 177 now they're on, 178 for our race leader, let's not forget. But this battle actually they're 4 laps down, so it'll be on about 180 I believe. So
Yeah, Wisniewski's just gone onto lap 180 coming under the Vesaro bridge down towards Brooklands.
So there we go, up towards the Brooklands they come once again. And doesn't really think about it. Thomas Hinds not really going to push too hard, I imagine, to try and get a position until he's right on the back of him. He's closed up significantly through Luffield though. Can the battle change? Not quite. He gets a decent run out of the final corner. Not the final corner, I'm thinking of this on the full configuration, but
They're also catching a lap car as well, which may come into play through the Magnussen Beck's session. That's Arwen Taruna, the HM Engineering car 119, currently sitting 18th and 4th in class. And they're going to catch him just on the exit of Beckett, so it might work out just in Daniel Gomez's favour, but Thomas Hinds has got a stellar run out of that corner. He's right on the back of Daniel Gomez as he goes towards Stowe. He's going to pull to the inside. Is he going to be able to make that move stick? They're going to run side by side through Stowe, and Thomas Hinds will indeed get that 5th position. Daniel Gomez going to fight back. Hinds defends the inside line. Gomez switches to the outside to try and get a better run, and Thomas Hinds has indeed finalised that 5th position for Speedy Mite. So Speedy Mite up another position to 5th positions. Daniel Gomez, of course, in Team Comet, going up the inside of the BMW there. That's the MK Sim Sport car. And he is now back in 6th position.
done a fantastic job to get back up into 5th place. And Daniel Gomez just doesn't have an answer for him. So we're now going to see if there's anyone which is looking particularly close. There's a between Trubio and Paradot in 3rd and 4th, I believe, is also quite a close battle. They're on the same lap, and in fact, they've got the race leader between them, but as they make up towards
Magnussen Beckett's?
Yes, Magnussen Beckett's they come up to now, and certainly the battle of the 3rd could still be back on. The gap is around about 3 seconds, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. And with the exception of the battle for like 32nd, is the closest battle we've got out on circuit.
Yeah, the only other one that I can see is between, well, it's not particularly a battle, but more of close cars on track, is between Lasse Ogard and Arwen Taruna, currently both on the Hanger Straight. And Ogard has put that 11000 bit racing car into 3rd position. In fact, he's going to dive into the pit lane. So this, maybe they underfueled the car, or maybe the tyres are shot.
Truber in as well, so 4th place is in. So that fantastic run he was having, he's got 2 laps on everyone else, but certainly it is the end of his push for 3rd place.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be the end of a podium charge, but still better points than they got at Interlagos, so getting points here will be good enough. And in fact, that looked like a fairly quick pit stop. Only cost them around 30 seconds, so possibly underfueling the car and not realising how long. And Lasse Ogard has been a similarly short pit stop, so perhaps drivers not putting as much fuel in as they thought they'd need.
Potentially, that could be the issue.
Yeah, I think that might be what has happened there, because very unusual to make a pit stop, a scheduled pit stop with 20 minutes to go in an endurance race. You'd want to be battling for a lead position. But even so, Lasse Ågaard has come about around 5 seconds behind Ian Navarro, who's in the Aston Martin. The 121 Aston Martin of RC Motorsport. So he's still on for a 4th position here, but again, their podium chance has gone out the window as well for the GT class.
Meanwhile, battle for 9th and 10th is looking very close as well. De Philippis is down into 10th place in the number 14 car after Beavis has gone around the outside, coming into Stowe. Matt Beavis now in the number 11 MK sport car, Sim Sport car has come through. And Roberto De Philippis has lost a position down into 10th place. So late changes there.
Yeah, and I think this last 15 minutes there's been more action than there has been in the last hour. So I think coming towards the end, drivers are maybe pushing a bit more, possibly making a few more mistakes. But De Philippis tried to defend the inside line, but Beavis managed to get his nose in front and go around the outside going into the club, and he's managed that 9th position, which will give him 12 points if he stays where he is. And in fact, that's where they finished at Interlagos as well, so they'll equal their best.
It's a fantastic effort from them, and they are doing well. They're doing exceptionally well. It's great to see the kinds of performance that they're putting out there. Meanwhile, some of the lap traffic as well could be giving them a bit of a nightmare. So let's just have a quick look as to what else is going on around the circuit. And as you say, it's that late stage in the race, 15 minutes left to go. It's that late stage in the race when there's not going to be much chopping and changing on track. It's going to be, everyone's going to be more or less settled into their positions, and barring a Toyota style surprise, we are more or less certain as to who knows what happens.
There's 15 minutes in the race remaining. 15 minutes in the race remaining.
So 15 minutes in the race is remaining. That will be it for the 2nd round of the Race Department of Mars Series, the Thrustmaster 6 hours of Silverstone. So, with not that long left, it's, I don't know what to say really. It's been an exhilarating race. Can you, as Tobias Rona running slightly wide, Peter, how would you describe the race?
I'd say it's been more relaxed than Interlagos, but at the same time, in a way, more action-packed. The reason I say that is because, especially in the 2 or 3 hours that I was commentating later in the race, there were quite a few incidents where drivers were on barriers and upside down and making mistakes, and there was a lot of problems with driver changeovers, similar to what we've seen with, I suspect, Christopher Aponte, who's down in 14th at the moment for the number 12 car, which is the Roaring Pipes Maniacs car. And we've not really seen that here as much, and I think that's partly due to drivers learning how to swap over the cars and perhaps being slightly more accustomed to the racing against, and you know, it being the 2nd round, you're going to know drivers a little bit better than the 1st round. I think that's been shown through the quality of racing that we've seen, and I think overall it has been very good, considering that these drivers are, while it's just a race as a hobby, they're not doing it professionally, they are very good at what they do, and they are competing for a prize at the end of the day. So tensions are going to rise, and there are going to be arguments, of course, especially when you put a prize on the line. But I think the drivers who have shown they can do well have shown they can do well, if that makes any sense at all. But overall, it's been great seeing. Well, I've seen most of the race. It was just an hour or two in the middle that I didn't see, but from what I've seen, it's been a very nice race, and at the home of British motorsport.
Well, it's fantastic to see that you've enjoyed it, and it's been a great race. I've enjoyed commentating on it, and it's been very entertaining to see that, as you say, the effort and the passion that goes into racing these kinds of cars, because it does take a lot for people to come together and to actually race in these kinds of racing. It takes a lot of dedication. And it's great to see, and I'm looking forward to Le Mans. It's going to be a real trial for everyone out there, but everyone's going to give it their best deal, aren't they? And at the end of the day, that's all you can ever ask is for people to do their best, try their hardest, and
Yeah, and I mean, the amount of effort goes in behind the scenes and setting up the servers and stuff like that and organising the thing to the drivers, getting teammates and finding who wants to race what and what they want to race and what team they want to race and what livery they want to race. That kind of thing. That all takes effort as well, and it's more than what you'd think. And while it may just seem it's a load of drivers getting together to race a virtual race car around a track for 6 hours of their life, it's a lot more than that. And I think that's been shown with this series, and I think it's the best that I've seen in my time commentating and participating in race department events so far. And I mean, we're only 2 rounds in, so it can only get better from here.
And of course, we do have championship considerations as well, and it's going to be an interesting one to see how it will affect the championship after this. Of course, it'll be all updated on the racedepartment.com forums once the race is over, so we can fully appreciate and understand what's gone on. And
that's... Go on.
No, I was just about to let you go on, mate.
All right. I was just going to say that I think Feeder showing their pace again has been exceptional, leading the prototype field again, and it looks like they're going to do it once more by quite a considerable margin. But
yes,
it's all about the practice and the team work and the driver's skill that goes into it. And I think, well, I've not seen a mistake by them. I don't know if you've seen them run wide or get into a contact with another driver, but I've certainly not.
No, this is the brilliant thing, is that they just haven't been affected by anything in any capacity.
They've almost got less screen time by just staying out the way and doing the thing. And whereas we've been watching drivers get into contact further back or have battles further back, they've just been, I think, leading from the start.
Exactly. We couldn't really talk. The only reason we haven't spoken about them is, again, because, as you say, there's been no need to, in all honesty. It's because they've been so quiet but so effectively been going around their job. And with about 8 minutes left to go, it's looking very good indeed. So what I'm going to do actually is let's analyse. If I go onto the race department forums, let's go and have a look and talk about the championship points, because that's a key consideration here that people will need to know. So before we do all of this as well, is a last-ditch attempt to make everyone sign up onto the Twitch. So all you need to do to potentially win the Thrustmaster shifter, the lovely 7+1 shifter, and strict sequential shifter, which can all be done in one. All you need to do is go and follow our Twitch stream. Follow it, and then you can be entered into our draw, and then anything that can, you might as well see what happens. You could win a free shifter for your sim rig after this. So that's all you need to do. But let's go and look at the points table as well. So obviously it would be having to do a bit of a dig to do this. Again, preparation. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance, as they always say, which is why I'm not prepared.
There's 6 Ps.
There's 6 Ps.
Yeah. I believe, to start us off, Feeder Ragnar would be leading the championship. I think that's fairly self-explanatory. They've once more done the pole, I presume the fastest lap, and the race win with 7 minutes to go. I mean, they could have a disastrous event, not to put the commentator's curse on it, but touch wood that they don't, but it could come down to that, and hopefully it doesn't, but it looked like they're going to pick up another 30 points, which would put them on 60.
Yep. So obviously the results and standings then. So in prototype, as you say, 30 points for Feeder, Ragnar, Simulator, the number 25, so that'll be 60 points for them. Team RGPL, who was second in the first race, of course, they scored 25 points. Down in 11th place for the number 24 car, so that's not going to help them at all. They'll only get 10 points out of that. Whereas the Simtech Motorsport, the number 2, which did finish in 5th, the first round will be due to finish in 2nd here, so that will be 25 points for them. Drillers Motorsport in 3rd, the number 17, which finished in 15th, which 0 points. This will be the opening of their account for the season. And
World of Sim Racing are in the same position, of course. They didn't score it into Lagos either. So they'll be on to their first set of points, 18 for them.
Just to butt in a little bit, Oliver Schlabs hit a P2 car and went off the track, and Matheus Machado has passed him for position.
So if Matthias has gone past, it could be, was it Tom Lambert, potentially? Matthias has taken position then.
Yeah, from Oliver Schlabs. I'm
Yeah.
not sure who the P2 car was.
That's put him into 5th position for Talking Door Racing. So they were running 7th earlier on, so they're now up to top 5 positions for Talking Door Racing.
And he's only 4 seconds behind Navarro as well.
Yeah.
I think Machado is a bit faster.
Yes, it might be that by the end of the race. Oh, we've got 2 prototypes coming together. Right in front of Mercado.
Oh yes, this
and
is
a third one
Umans
as well.
And Beavis, Umans and Beavis have had contact. Thomas Hinds then in 5th place, almost got involved with that as well. So a gaggle of cars, not quite on different laps of course, but still affected each other quite badly.
Yeah, and it didn't look like it slowed Mercado up too much, because it looked like the 2 prototypes came up the inside, locked together 3 wide and went wide, and then Mercado cut back on them, and then they got ahead, and Beavis went around the outside, so it didn't look like it affected them.
There are 4 minutes remaining in the race, 4 minutes remaining.
So yeah.
So just got the call that there's 4 minutes remaining in this race, which gives us enough time to, well, first of all, Ollie, what do you think of the race? While we've been here for 5 hours and 56 minutes and 4 minutes to go.
I've been there for a bit over 2 hours. I think it's been brilliant racing. It's been pretty fair as well. There hasn't been much ugly driving or weird lapping or anything like that. It's been very good driving.
Yeah, and this is something we commented on as well, is the fact that while it may not have been as action-packed, it's been cleaner. So there's been more action in overtaking instead of drivers coming into contact with each other. Of course, we just had the contact between 2 drivers earlier on, but I guess Rubbin's racing and they've carried on. So from that standpoint, it's been a lot cleaner than it was at Interlagos, and going to Le Mans, it looks like we're going to get it even cleaner still.
Yeah, and it will be easy to lap as well at Interlagos. No, Le Mans, I mean. Long straights are helping out quite a bit.
Yeah, I think there's going to be slipstream battles aplenty, of course, at Le Mans. Those 3 long straights and the other one coming out of Indianapolis corner as well. So there's 4 or 5 long straights at Le Mans, which will definitely give the cars a chance to stretch their legs.
It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. We've got 2 minutes and 18 of this race left to go. So realistically for the leader, who is currently coming through, Maggers and Beckett's now, this could actually be the second last lap. If he gets his timing right. What's the average lap time around here? 1 minute and 50. Well, it's 2 minutes exactly now. And with 1:17 on the clock for this lap, it is going to be the second last race. Second last lap, rather.
So it does look like it's going to be the white flag this time round for our leaders.
And it's going to be the end to a fantastic race. And as Wisniewski is behind that lovely chrome BMW, just takes his time. He doesn't need to push it anymore. Over the line. No white flag by the marshal, but it could well be the white flag with that. 1 minute and 20 of this race left to run. So realistically, one more lap. And that's what's going to be interesting. Is it's only one more lap, I suppose, isn't it? It's all gone rather quickly, as I keep saying, but it's nonetheless being absolutely fantastic to endure, and I'm looking forward to Le Mans in 6 weeks' time, I believe. So it's
There's 1 minute of the race remaining. 1
Here we
minute
go.
of the race remaining.
1 minute of the race is left. So realistically, that's the end of the race. This is the last lap.
And Oliver Schlubs have a splash and dash. He's in the pits.
Who's in the pit lane? Sorry.
Oliver Schlubs.
Oh.
20th overall.
Wow, that's a real surprise.
Yeah.
That's definitely left it too long then. So I would say all's well that ends well, but that's not brilliant for them, I suppose, is it? Having to pit after all of this has elapsed.
Yeah, but
So it's going to be the final lap then. The
race is now over. The checkered flag has been
come
raised.
out.
The race is now
Checkered
over.
flag is now in, getting primed. Nick and Wisniewski, the feeder Ragnar simulator, they are going to take 2 wins from 2. An absolutely dominant victory for the 25 as they win the Race Department Vesaro Race Department Le Mans Series race here, the Thruxton 6 Hours of Silverstone. Winners, the feeder Ragnar simulation. It will be.
Please complete your laps.
And
Please
at
complete your
least
laps if you are still
the
on
number
a timed
2
lap.
Simtech Motorsport car, who's coming through Stone now. Shane Burke on board that. A fantastic opening stint from him. Kept up with the race leader just for a little bit, and then as the traffic came into play, didn't quite go his way. A fantastic battle with them and the number 17 to round out the podium. Second place, therefore, for Shane Burke. Third place will go to Alexis Paradot in the number 17 Drillers Motorsport car. Meanwhile, in GTE, as 14th place, Alan Terzic. Again, this is a very similar story in the FFT Corsa 116 car, number 116. They've had a really quiet race. We haven't spoken much about them. They've not put a wheel wrong as such in GTE. The Aston Martin, British car, British circuit, they take the victory. Second place in GT will be Yuri Kazdorp in the 108 Apex Eclipse car, followed by Lasse Ogard in the 120 double one triple O bit racing car, as the Aston Martin does a bit of drifting to celebrate the end of the race. Fantastic win for them. They don't need the tyres anymore. They can go and run them as much as they want. So,
yeah, and
go on, Peter.
it's Aston Martin 1-2 in GT in the British round as well, which very nice to see. Very fitting.
Of course, 3 Aston Martins, I believe, in the top 4.
Top 5.
Top 5, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, it was F, of course. Yes, of course, because it was Corvette.
HM Engineering, yes.
Yes, of course. So, never mind me. So, and that's it for the stream. I think we're being told. So, Peter, I don't know about you, but this second round of the Race Department Le Mans series, I really enjoyed it. Let's quick word from you.
Yeah, I have as well. It's been a great race, and just had a quick calculation, and 192 laps for the leader equates to 1,113 kilometers. So, a long way indeed. And I know that because I've driven to Italy, so that is definitely a long way from North England. So you can tell how far they've driven in 6 hours at least. So a great race for the feeder Ragnar team. Their second win, of course. But the interesting battle, I think, is going to be between RC Motorsport and 11000 Bit Racing in the championship, because RC Motorsport got the win in that race and 11000 Bit Racing got 4th in that race, so they're going to be very close on points going into the 3rd round. But of course, these are only provisional results, and we will be investigating them, and I'm sure the race directors will have a look and check that no one infringed any rules post scrutineering. So from me, that's all I've got to say. I don't know about you, Dan or Ollie. I don't know about you, but I've fully enjoyed being here, and it's been a great race.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed covering the race. It's fantastic to have everyone in the stream. So from Simon Smith, all the drivers we've been speaking to, from yourself, thank you, Peter. Ollie, who came in, fantastic, thank you. Joseph for his commentary earlier, Sophie, Lorenzo, and for myself, Dan Mar. Until next time, in about 6 weeks' time for the 24 hours of Le Mans. Until next time, it's goodbye from me.